up here now.
You see,
Hey.
I was doing like air guitar and air drums. Did anybody notice I was playing the
I
intro?
We
can't
can't
see
see
you.
you. Only you see all the
No,
previews.
that's right, because you
Wait,
play
you can
guitar.
see me when we're.
Yeah,
He can see us,
yeah. Oh,
but
Paid the
we
cost
can't
to be the
see
boss.
each other
It's a
during
Is
the
level
that
up.
intro.
real?
that's a
You can
level.
see me when the fucking intro's playing?
Yeah, but if you stop
Yeah.
your camera, he can't.
I mean, I'm not sitting there watching you guys like, ooh, I
So don't pick your nose.
No promises.
I've
Hi,
never seen
everyone.
anything incriminating or scary.
Yeah, but maybe you have, and you're not saying anything.
I haven't. I mean, no, seriously, I'm sitting there looking at my own dumb self playing air drums because my wife hates my air drums because I just usually just go. It's not.
Oh, you
on
got the
beat
green
or
screen?
anything.
We've already got a request to talk about the new cruise ship. That big behemoth horrible thing. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeesh.
Jake, you turned blue.
Yeah.
Ah.
You got some
Those,
weird clipping with the
It's
headphone.
weird. I don't like it in this system.
You look
StreamYard
like
doesn't
you're a
do it
fucking
well.
cartoon character.
He's
Just
got,
so everyone knows.
Well, I am in real life, but
That's true.
Just so everyone knows, that's why we have green screens, because StreamYard, even on Leftist Mafia, they do that. StreamYard does not allow for the backgrounds.
Wow, that's wild. Ecamm does. Ecamm definitely does. But
Hey,
I
what-
have mine up tonight because I'm cleaning crap behind me.
They're both in the same location.
do we like this? What's the word? I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We are
The green
green.
screen? I don't like it. It hurts my eyes.
That's not.
Wow,
That's a lie.
Andrea.
It's
Then
not
I
a
shall
lie.
blue myself.
This is ableism being on the stream here. My eyes are in disarray. I'm in pain. I'm suffering, really.
Oh, what's wrong?
Honestly.
Oh, the hand. That's right. You said that.
Oh, well,
The-
that's just one thing, but also the eyes, you know?
Oh, poor baby.
The hand, the eyes.
I want
the
to
scalp
reach out
for some reason.
and touch someone. I'm in a pajama party tonight, but nobody would know it. But I'm shouting out to Katie. Thank you, Katie. This is one of the pajamas you sent me. Okay, there she
Katie, those are phenomenal pajamas.
Phenomenal
That's like a blouse.
pajamas. Yeah.
I like it.
yeah.
And by
I
the way,
got
I'm
them.
down for the. But you were talking earlier about we should have a pajama party. Count me in.
I've had many.
Absolutely.
Jennifer and I have had many. I mean, sometimes nobody even knows.
I don't wear pajamas. I just, all my clothes, I sleep in them.
They are
You know,
pajamas.
sometimes they're pajamas, sometimes they're not. I leave the house with the same stuff on, so I'm always in
See
the same stuff.
How
I got a
weird.
new, this is new clothing.
Yeah, I like the colors.
Yeah,
Very
I like
nice.
it too. I have not gotten new clothing in a while, so
Well, whose fault is that? I have a ton of nice, really nice things for you. But you
I don't wear clothes.
They're not, but they're like hoodies and things that you would like. I know you would. And they're
she's-
vintage, like
She's
Hollister.
actually
I have
using
vintage
some-
shit for you.
What is
using
Hollister? Is that a
editing.
country?
It was a store in the malls of the 90s. I mean, I have things that that are unusual for you that I
Okay.
saved for
Hollister's
you.
fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, and just stuff. So one of these days she'll let me do it. So, so what's going on, everybody?
Ah,
Not
nothing.
too much.
I
Yeah.
Too much. You just
know-
finished an interview, Matt.
So yeah, I like that guest a lot. Almost to the point where I was like, my interview with him is nowhere near, and I don't always think this, by the way, because I think
What?
viewers,
Who's the
Say his
interview?
name.
Dr. Jared Ball from Black Power Media. A lot of times, my guest, it's different. You're hearing how and why, not just more of their what, more
Uh-huh.
of their content. But with
Mhm.
with Jared, you get the how and why all the time from his show, and I'm almost like, there was a part of me that was like, this interview is not going to be as good as that. Like, you get plenty from his show, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe, I'm sure there were some things he talked about that he wouldn't openly talk about on his own. So anyway, yeah.
Well,
it was
I'm going to
good,
go
but
listen to it over because I was video editing while I was watching it and doing 10 things. So
He's just really cool. Like, if I have admired all my guests, but if I really admire somebody, then I'm always like, I can hear myself sounding dumb. You know what I mean? You know how that is?
Yep.
Like, you might not be saying something dumb, but you hear it that way. And we've talked about this off camera before. You remember, Jake, I say I have a technique for not allowing that to happen. Sometimes it just does, you know?
Yeah. Look, for what it's worth, I thought it was a really good interview. I thought he
thanks.
sounded different on your interview than he does on his own show, and that's what I'm looking for when I listen for an interview.
He said, I've seen on your interviews before, and I'm like, oh my God, he's watched his show.
Hate when
That's
that
a
was
good
like-
thing.
I hate when people come on the show and then say, "Hey, I've seen it."
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Why would you
standards.
hate that?
It's the worst. I don't want anyone seeing anything I do.
Then why do you do it, Andrea?
I have a compulsion. It's a mental illness.
Telling you. Oh my God. Wow.
Okay,
Well.
tell me about this cruise ship, because I just looked at
Okay.
it. Why is it that big? How many people are they trying to get stranded in the middle of the ocean?
9,000 people that are going to get Legionnaire's disease.
Why
That
I
is
mean,
it
it is-
doing this? Why?
Because it is like, I think it's the last gasp of grotesqueness before everything collapses.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Why do you need that? Yeah, great shirt, by the way.
Am I allowed to say something controversial?
Of course.
yeah.
Sure.
So I just want to say I do not support the death penalty,
Right.
Mhm.
but cruise ships, on the other hand, they make me rethink my position.
Yeah. Why are they legal?
Because they're money makers, I guess.
But
People
doesn't
like
it-
cruises. I hate them.
It has to be contributing to pollution on just. Am I wrong?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
It's
they
just
are.
dumb.
They
it
are.
really is
Think
just
about
dumb. Like, you have to be
9,000 people.
dumbass.
9,000 people. Think of the
it's like
sewage.
putting a football stadium in the ocean.
Yeah,
That can't be good.
it's insane. It's insane. I
haven't
really
act-
don't know.
I haven't answered your question.
Oh, hit
I
it. What's
haven't
the answer?
studied
Well,
the
let's see,
whole thing
Sandy's up.
enough. The question was just talk about it. People wanted to know. They say it's hard.
Well, yeah.
Oh, the cruise
Well-
industry grew enormously after COVID.
Yeah.
After COVID. But during COVID,
Amazing.
people were saying, don't go
So
on a
it's in the
cruise 'cause you're gonna-"
future.
Who knows? People are crazy. You
There
know,
you go.
I actually know a couple who sold their house and they booked a 3-year cruise. And I
Wow.
see her pictures on Facebook for everywhere. I live vicariously through them, but I wouldn't do that. Live on a cruise ship?
That's
You just
insane.
like, I'm sorry, you just have to be a fucking idiot to go on a cruise. Like, I
I went on one once.
well, I hope that you've recovered since
I
then.
was, it was a long time ago. I was invited and I went. So,
Like, imagine one, going on a cruise, two, going on a cruise during a pandemic, three, going on a cruise during World War III. Like, what are these
Yeah.
fuckers doing? Like, do they have rocks in their fucking brains? Like, do they want to die in international waters so that no one can bury them? Like, they're
I
gonna be
would be
dead people
scared.
fucking decomposing in the goddamn basement or some shit. It's gonna fucking start like peering in. Everyone's gonna start smelling dead people. They're gonna throw them overboard. I'm like, what the fuck?
9,000 people. You are a sitting duck in the middle of whatever, wherever. But,
Can we get the goddamn Houthis to go over there and take care of these motherfuckers? Like, Jesus goddamn Christ. Like, we should not be allowing this shit in this fucking world.
But I think that's it right
Oh,
there. I think
Andrea.
as
Let's
a
hear Jake.
society, we don't insist upon the actual cost of that, the environmental cost of that, and how it will affect the people that want nothing to do with the cruise as being factored in.
Right.
Do you have
Right.
permission to do this? Can you be at these docks? I think the more we have countries saying, no, you can't, your giant monstrosity cannot dock here. You're not welcome in this country. That's going to change whether or not this happens. But as for the people that actually sign up and go on them, I mean, ask yourself if you were living in Rome when around the time it was burning and Nero invited you to a wild party at the palace.
Would you
You'd
go?
almost be crazy not to go. Yeah, like if you're
Say
the sort
hell
of
with it.
person that enjoys cruises, sure, go on one of these monstrosities, but do so knowing that Rome is burning.
Yeah. And the food waste
Oh,
on a
Oh.
cruise. Can you imagine with 9,000 people, the kitchens and but the waste, because there's so many buffets and all. And then they, by law, they have to get rid of all that food. Where the hell does all the waste go? It's something I haven't researched, but since I've been seeing the pictures of it, it is a timely conversation. It was a good question.
Yeah,
yeah.
I once was like, I don't want anything to do with crews. They sound horrible, but I once thought about it in terms of stopping at all those different ports. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun because now you get to go to all these different places. Then I was like, no, that's probably just a very exploitative or exploitive part of that town or
Yeah.
city, or that port is
You'll
probably
get the
like
cruise version.
Well, it's
It's like all
money,
the cheap
tourism
shit.
dollars. And when they stop in the ports on these islands, these small islands are just that's their economy, is tourism. And a lot of these small islands are not going to be islands in 20 years or even 10 years with sea
Yeah,
level
that's
rise.
a good
They're
point.
losing their shores. So, I mean, I can understand for that, the small islands are in trouble. And so this is their way, their bread and butter.
Look at this question.
I gotta say, I just look down
I
on
did.
people that go to
Whoa.
cruises. Like, I just
Oh,
fundamentally, I
well.
just can't respect it.
Remember Sam Cedar went on one and he didn't realize until the very last day, something like 2 weeks. And on the last day, he realized that all the food they put out is just kind of like part of the package deal and you could just eat whatever.
You could gain 10 pounds in a weekend.
So he
But
was,
like,
It's disgusting.
what did,
how can you
was he
miss
paying
out?
for his own?
Well,
Well, I guess he just thought like the meals were part of it, but then there's this food that's just always around and he wasn't, like pastries and shit. He was like, oh, you probably have to pay for that.
Just think of all the gross ass bitches that are like sneezing and fucking
Ugh.
breathing on this food everywhere.
Oh,
Like, Jesus fucking Christ,
Hey,
man.
I don't-
Like,
I
how
like,
about if
any,
there's
like, if
bed
you go on a
bugs?
cruise, you deserve to get COVID and die on
Oh,
the ship
geez,
in international
Andrea.
waters and have your body thrown to the fucking fishes. That's my opinion.
Jesus.
I wouldn't.
How about bed bug infestation?
Oh, the bed bugs. Yeah, all you need is
9,000
one
people.
fucker to bring lice onto the cruise ship and it's fucking over. It's done for these bitches.
Oh, jeez.
Mercy.
Mercy.
Have you seen the Triangle of Sadness? You're gonna
Oh,
rethink
boy.
cruises after that. Have you seen this movie?
No,
Mm.
I've seen the
Anyone in the
movie
chat?
Triangle.
Anyone in the chat seen Triangle of Sadness?
No.
The point of the movie, it's a spoiler, I guess.
Oh, spoil us.
Doesn't
Spoiler.
matter.
Does anybody care out there? Come on.
The point, it was funny because I told my mom, oh, you got to see this movie. Here's what it's about. And she goes, honey, that was a book from the 50s. And I was like, oh, they didn't even
Oh,
give credit to the book.
shit.
Like if you crashed on an island,
Hey, Trent.
all
Yeah.
the passengers on the cruise would be helpless, but the service people would take over. They'd be like, we know how to survive. And it's very, those dynamics switching, it was a very neat part of the movie, but that's kind of like half. It's half the movie. So anyway, it's a good examination of capitalism, but the cruise part, I was like, oh my God. I
Is
would
the
never-
spoiler done?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, even if there's a possibility that some of that stuff could happen, I would not be there. I would not be on that cruise. So
Well,
anyway, I highly
So
recommend
you heard
it.
it
I
here
think it's great.
first.
I will not be going
Imagine
on
a
a
world
cruise.
where the working class tell them what to do. Just everybody write that down and damn. I was hoping I'd
Think
make
of
him
all
feel
the
awkward that they wrote.
jobs on a cruise with 9,000 people. The musicians, the entertainment, the food industry. I mean, it's like a city, right?
Has anyone
9,000
seen the
people?
film 2012?
Yes, it is.
You know that
And
part
yes,
where the
I have.
cruise ship gets fucked up by the tsunami?
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
man.
Oh, Andrea's fantasizing.
It was called 2012.
Yeah.
Mm.
What year did it come out? 2011.
Oh,
That'd be
nine?
interesting.
Think 2012. I think it came out That
09.
predicted apocalypse. Oh, it came
09?
out 09? Ooh,
That's what I'm
nice.
saying. That's my guess.
Remember the Nick Cage movie Knowing, where they
Yes.
predicted?
I thought
or-
it was good. F you guys.
Yeah. But I mean,
I thought the
worst-
ending was underwhelming. Like I felt like they rushed it. Like I would have liked.
Yeah.
I don't mind like 2.5 hour movies. You know, like give us some more to flesh it out.
So I know the guy that wrote that, and I, when it was the BP oil spill happened,
Oh,
that was like in the movie, and
Oh.
everyone's like, "Holy shit! Whoever wrote that movie knew that."
knew
And
that.
so I texted him. I said, "Well, let's see if he did." And they're like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I know this guy." And I texted him and said, "People are saying you had knowledge of the future when you wrote Knowing, and that's how you came up with the script." He replied, "It's true. I know shit."
Yeah.
How that's
Yeah,
so
it's
wild.
just-
You
Well,
knew
it
the
wasn't
guy that
true. He
wrote-
doesn't know the future. He was joking.
Yes, but it's wild that you knew the guy that wrote the movie.
Oh yeah,
Did he meet
That's cool.
Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage?
Yeah.
I assume.
You didn't
I-
ask.
No, I almost met Nicolas Cage. He walked right by me. Long strides. When famous people walk by you and they're in public but they don't want to be stopped, they use long strides. It's really funny. And he was doing it. I said to my buddy, I was like, "There's Nick Cage and his son." And because his son had just put out a comic and they were at Comic-Con. Nick
Oh.
Cage, big comic guy, and he was walking across this area where we were kind of hanging out outside the main floor. I said, "There's Nick Cage and his son," and he was like, "Oh wow!" And I said, "Long strides. He does not want to be stopped." That's a man
Long
who's
good
who's
age.
on a mission. I've seen a lot of people do it in New York City, in Manhattan. Famous people walking by, just cruising. It's really
Like the what was it? The comic furry freak brothers with their big stride from the
Oh,
that's from
yeah.
the 70s or the
good
60s.
callback. Good callback.
Yeah. Well, I'm closer to that to being able to recall that. The
That's
and
why when you see me out
Yeah.
shuffling.
you're shuffling. Just shuffling off the buffalo.
Anybody catch WYCD? No? Go for it.
Not
Okay.
tonight. Were you on today?
No, I'm doing an impression of myself out in public not getting recognized.
Not getting recognized.
I got recognized in public once. It was the worst experience of my life.
Really?
Oh, it was so
Why?
horrible.
Oh shit.
Well,
What
I was
happened?
not. Well, first of all, I was really high.
well.
Second of all, I was not in the state of mind to be spoken to by strangers. Third of all, it was a very confusing moment. Like, how do you know me? Why do you know me? Like, are you? Where did you find out about this? It was very scary. And then fourth of all, I was anxious that I fucked up the encounter. So now this motherfucker, I don't even know if they watch me anymore. Like, probably has this weird. Yeah, I met that
Well, you
YouTuber and
moved.
she like stuttered and like ran away instantly. Like,
Aw.
if you see me in public, do not approach me. Do not say hello. Maybe you can point and laugh, and I'll let you, because then I can like
Okay.
convince myself it's something else that you're laughing at. But
So if you saw me in public, you wouldn't come up to me because you wouldn't want me to come up to you.
no, I would run. If I saw anyone I knew
Toward
in
me.
public, I run. I turn around, I
Me.
go the other way. Anybody?
Me.
Anyone?
You wouldn't say, "Letterhack, what's up?" I'm not gonna come
No,
over.
I
but
would be
hello."
out of there. You would not even know I was within 30 miles.
So disappointing.
No, I can't do it.
I'd hit all you
She's
guys with
shy.
a city. I'd give you just a real quick like, "Hey Sandy," and then keep moving like nothing happened.
go,
Just because
"Oh."
it would mess with you so much.
Hey,
Can't
Jake.
do it.
Where
Yeah.
would we
Have a
have
good
the
day.
opportunity to meet like that? Wouldn't that be wild?
Exactly.
New York
But if
City.
it happened, I would not be like, "Hey, Sandy, it's me, Matt. Anyway, see ya."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just like if I'm in New York, Sandy, I'm up in Skinny Atlas for whatever reason, and I pass by your neck of the woods, and I see you, I am just gonna give you a real quick, "Hey Sandy," and keep walking like it happens all the
Jake, no one passes through my neck of the woods.
time. I might go out of my way to pass through your neck of the woods just to hit you with that.
Just bring a tent and a sleeping bag. Everybody has to camp here. There's an outhouse. Seriously.
So, recently I was house sitting for somebody, and I was basically just checking in every now and then on their cat and their grandmother. And the cat passed away. And so I had to call them and break the news. And they said,
Oh,
I
shit.
said, yeah, bad news, the cat died. And they were like, dude, do not just break it to us like that. Build up to it. Like, give
No.
us some backstory or something. I said, okay, the cat was on the roof. One thing led to another. And they were like,
The
okay,
roof.
that's much better. That's how we
So
want to
you
hear
were
it.
cat sitting on this fucking person's
Yeah.
cat, and then they died, and then you called them and said, "Yo, got
They
bad news.
said-
Your
and
cat's
it was
dead,
on the roof.
and you're not in jail." Like, what? That is
They
some
said-
antisocial personality disorder ass shit, man. What the
They
fuck? You're killing
said
cats and then just like
They'd
telling them.
rather
and-
me preface it with, your cat was on the roof, rather than just hitting them with the bad news right away. And then,
Yeah, they're
you know,
wrong.
after we talked about it, they said, so how's grandma? And I said, she's on the roof.
She's
Exactly.
You're full of it. God
No.
damn it.
Exactly.
Hey, no
Start
cat's
telling
going to
a
die on my
story.
watch. Okay?
On a roof.
Good man.
We should have known. We fell for it.
Oh yeah.
Ah, shit.
Grandma's
I'm
on the
gullible
roof.
like that. I'm like a golden retriever. I'm just gullible.
Same, Sandy. Thank you. You make
Yeah.
me feel better.
I've said that.
So just
for
to
a
be
long
clear,
time.
you didn't kill any cats.
Never.
No.
No.
I almost did today. Earlier,
Yes.
they had to mute me before the show because I was so busy screaming at the cat to get the fuck out of this office. Oh God, BB,
Yeah,
another dad joke.
no cats die on my watch, man. If you put me in charge of your shit, it's going to be fine.
I actually have a dying cat. It's sad.
Oh.
His name is Seven, and he showed up 3 years ago on my deck. The same year Buddy showed up, but he was starving to death. So I brought him back from near death, but the vet said the other day, he drools and he has to get shots. He has a tumor in his mouth, and he says if he has 6 months, he has 6 months. I don't know how old he is. I just love him up, feed him because he eats like a pig, and I'm sad, but yet I know I gave him extra time by him
Yeah.
coming to me. I saved his life, and he's a love. He's just a beautiful little boy. Oh,
Matching
there's
hoodie.
Max.
Matching hoodies.
What? Does Max have a matching hoodie? Get out of
Yes.
here.
Sandy, you did. You did.
That-
You
Yeah,
3 years
I
of
do
his
for
life
all
are
of these
probably
animals.
The best. The best he had.
He
Good
is
on you.
having great 3 years because I love him, and I love them all up,
If
They give
you're
me
sad,
unconditional love.
if you're sad at the passing of a pet, right, or an animal in your care, that is a sign of your love and dedication to them while they were living,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Of course I'm sad.
because if you didn't care
Right.
and then they were gone, you would probably be like, "Ah,
There's a
okay,
lot
I'll
of
go back
people
to
like
living my
that,
own
though.
life now."
Yeah, Bella
Yeah, I
died
know.
in 2000 in October 22. I buried her in the backyard, and I walk back there and I visit her.
And speaking
"Hi,
of loving
Bella."
your pet, look at Max in the matching sweater. How'd you hook this up?
Yeah, how did you do that, Andrea?
Did you do the
I
tie?
can't
Ah.
reveal my secrets.
Wow,
Look at him.
that's
Sidekick.
great.
That's
That should
awesome.
have an applause, but you don't have sound effects.
What a fine
Okay.
fellow.
There was a guy who told me
I wish my sound effects would show up on
that
you.
his family dog
I don't think it will.
died when he was young, and it hit him so hard that he'll never have a pet again. And I said, look at it this way, man. You know how, like I said, you commute to and from work, right? And he said, yes. And I said, you know how there are
Aw,
people
B.
in the world that just drive you crazy every day? They're inconsiderate. They're not paying attention. They're breaking all the rules. They're acting like they're the only one in the universe. Those people have fucking pets. You could have that pet instead in at least one case and give it a better life. I'm serious. Those people are screwing everything up, not just their commute.
I mean,
If you're going to
your goal-
embarrass yourself like that on the road
if
every
your
day,
goal is to make somebody who doesn't want to be a pet owner. That's how to do it. But I
That's what I'm saying.
I fully understand that person's point of view. I damn
Oh, yeah,
near
totally.
share it. There's honestly, there's an emotional burden for me in owning a pet. The dog that I have, the only reason I have him, and I love him more than your average human by a country mile, But the only reason I have him is because I found him in the street and I felt I needed to take responsibility for him. But
Why are you
it's
walking in
my heart
circles?
cannot handle many more losses like this, if I'm honest.
That-
My
okay.
parents' dog just passed, and
I
I'm
know.
still
We were
like,
hurting
it's
for
hard
you.
for me to get up,
We were hurting
and it's
for
not. It
you.
wasn't even my dog.
I
Don't-
get it.
can't
We're not
handle
going to get upset.
And I
You're right.
understand,
This is a
like,
terrible conversation.
I know it is because
Sorry.
I start
I'm
thinking
sorry.
about Bella in the backyard,
I'm sorry,
well,
man.
but Jake, to your point though, and we
Amongst
could
the
stop
pot
talking about it.
plants.
But to your point, it's completely rational to feel that way, and I feel for people, but
Kristen.
I see a strength in certain people that doesn't exist in other people that will only make an animal's life better, no matter how difficult it is. And so I continue
Sure.
to encourage people to do that. But I totally get, I'm not being, just so you know, I'm not being heartless about get over it. Emotions should be shut
No.
off.
Never. Not mine.
Yeah, to me, their wounds don't heal. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm stopping.
Yeah.
End for me. Of
Yeah,
that.
let's
But you're
let's
right.
move on.
Sorry.
Let-
Sorry.
We can talk
What
about
if cruise ships were submarines? What if they were just upside
back on-
down?
I'm back. I would do that. I know I would get the entirety. There'd be 9,000 people with dysentery, and I'd be one of them. But I would do it just to say I did it. And Underwater City for a month, yes.
upside down with a dome. You know how they want to build football fields with the dome, so they just make it upside down. They put a dome in it, and you gotta
like
hang. Hey, you gotta hang.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
Same.
wow.
Okay, I gotta know, where'd you get the matching hoodies?
Yeah, we're all.
you
Come
and
on now.
Max?
I
She's
can't
not
reveal
gonna
my
cop
secrets.
to it.
I'm
Somebody
not-
sent them. I
Is it a
bet.
custom job?
No,
I
I bet
can't.
somebody sent them.
It's not as fascinating as you might think here, you know? So
Somebody
It
loves
beco-
you
it becomes
and sent them
manifest.
to you as a gift.
I can't comment. I have
I
nothing
would
to
like
say.
to hear that because that's nice when people do that stuff.
I have nothing to say whatsoever. I've never said anything in my
Send
life.
Rich to the Titanic.
You know, that submarine story about the rich people going into the Titanic, do you think any rich people learned a lesson from that? Or they were like, they just did it wrong. I would do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's absurd, right? Like that was the perfect analogy of idiot boss. I'm rich. Of course my ideas are perfect. I'm fucking rich. No. That's not how it works. Your ideas are not perfect.
I have a question. So
Yes.
Looney Tunes in the chat room has said before that they have done an impersonation of me. Is that true?
Yeah.
He has.
I want to hear it so.
He does an impersonation. He's an
Yeah, and
impersonator.
Where is that clipped somewhere?
I
I
do a
think-
pretty good impression of Andrea, but it's only when she does that one thing,
Which thing?
that thing.
did he
right
do it
there?
on my show or your
When
show,
you're being
Jake?
mischievous. I don't remember. No, not. No, what am I talking about? Your show, not my show. He did
Because
it
I
on my-
remember saying, I said, well, just remember, we're nice to our friends. And it ended up not being offensive in the least. Like, I would allow him to do an impersonation of me.
I
but-
could almost do an impersonation of you. I cannot do one of Sandy. I'm working on that.
I would like to hear
Jeez.
this impersonation. Does anyone know what episode it was from?
Oh, no. I mean, we could get him to call in next time.
on the call-in show, and then Andrea, you have to watch. He does
Right,
a couple of them, doesn't he? Do a
Yeah.
couple, yeah. He's
Send Trump.
He's working. He's working his his pantomime
Oh,
impersonating.
I got a challenge. How many U.S. presidents can you do an impression of?
Oh. Who are you
I
asking?
can't.
45 of
general?
them.
Let's see. You can.
Who's the
We
one
can-
you can't do?
We could.
I
oh,
can do 45,
Whoa.
which is all of them.
I can't do.
46. Sure.
Let's see. If I.
Grover Cleveland.
How do you do the one that weren't ever recorded? How do you do a John Adams impression?
It's pretty easy. Hey, I'm John
That's
Adams.
true.
That easy.
For John Adams, you would just have to be like constantly like, what are we doing? No. Don't
I like the
I feel
herp
like
All of them probably say one thing.
I feel like I can relate to John Adams more than any other forefather, because
Really?
John Adams was constantly like the guy that everyone should have been listening to, but they like just made him part of the conversation because they respected his opinion, but they should have been following his ideas. Because anyway, I'm not
His
an
kid
expert
was the
on
first
him,
one to cheat the election too. Number 5, and we already fucking cheated the election.
but that's
They
got
all
nothing to do
end
with
with
him.
dementia.
But
That's true.
It
think
has to
John-
do with him being a bad parent.
Ah, shit.
every time, I mean, I'm sure. No, I don't think he was alive when that happened.
Yeah, but he raised the fucker. How do you think this guy learned how to be a fucking shithead? Fucking Quincy.
did
Like when you
have-
name someone Quincy, they got to start fucking shit up. It's
He
that
did
simple.
have some rough relationships with his son, but I just think that whenever somebody says the forefathers were all horrible, I'm like, John Adams was probably the best of them. I don't know.
Yeah. And Alexander.
Goddamn Thomas Paine.
behind all
He's
the,
okay.
Is Thomas Paine a forefather?
Absolutely.
Then yeah, Thomas Paine.
He's a 5 father. He leveled up.
Well done, Payne.
Yeah.
Pain.
Wireless Mike saying watch the HBO John Adams series. I watch it every single year. I love it.
Really?
What I don't love is how they prop up Thomas Jefferson like he was a great guy when he wasn't.
Mm.
What I do like is Tom Wilkinson as Benjamin Franklin.
Tom Wilkins
It was good.
delightful in everything, and Benjamin Franklin. True story. I had an ongoing. He was a reoccurring character in comics I did for my friends in middle school
It's
because
awesome.
he was such a weird little dude that, like, I just had to. Yeah. You know what? I'll pitch it to you now since we got at least one comic fan here. The concept was this. For whatever reason, we make a time machine because it's easier than doing a book report, as you do.
Yeah.
And we summon Benjamin Franklin, but we happen to, like, he shows up like the Terminator completely naked. And we, like, happen to get him in the bath or something. And we're like, welcome to the future. We got all these things. Can we get you some clothes? And he's just like, no, thanks. Show me around. And we're all like, oh, okay. And just the awkwardness of him saying no thanks very casually, and then
Thanks.
yeah, and then he's
No
just
thanks.
fully nude the entire time, and everybody that we, like, when we bring him to, like, this is our government now, and this is how this works, and everybody's just like, why the fuck is that naked guy here? Somebody call the cops.
You're saying
Nobody
Benjamin
cares that it's-
Franklin naked.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. He's
Buck-ass
naked. He's naked in a bathtub a lot in that John Adams series.
He's the guy that enjoys.
I haven't watched it.
What do they call it? What do they call it? Air bathing or whatever.
Yeah.
Bathing.
It's a true fact. Is he liked to be naked a lot, and I think that's a funny thing to focus on
awesome.
instead of any of the other stuff.
That's awesome.
I know that Benjamin Franklin was definitely somewhere on the spectrum.
Oh, he had to be. It was too fun not,
Exactly.
I like
my
the
kind of people.
wasn't there a Funny or Die version with Jack Black as him and the historian telling, you know what I'm talking about, the what are the drunk histories, you know, where they get a
Yes.
historian drunk and then they reenact it with celebrities.
Yeah.
They made it like Benjamin Franklin tricked his son into carrying that kite around to get electrocuted. He's like, he didn't go out there and get electrocuted. He had his son do it. And it's Jack Black, right? I got to watch that now.
That
Yeah,
sounds
don't
good.
overthink it. Answer only. You're trying to do an experiment with electricity. Do you trick one of your daughters?
Jeez.
Take one for mama. Come on.
I mean, I do this a lot. Like, I'll be like, I'll watch one of those, and then, you know, it's 3 hours have gone by, and I'm just watching them over and over and over. Like the Ryan
they're so good.
Gosling on the Night Before Christmas poem, when he has to keep pausing because the historian, is so wasted. Those are great. I love those.
I gotta look
They're
into that.
fantastic.
All right.
You haven't seen those, Andrea? Drunk Histories?
I'm a loser.
Oh, you're going to love those.
Baby.
I haven't either. You know, I don't
What?
catch. I don't.
So
I
what
don't
they
know why,
do
but
is
San-
see a lot of
they
stuff.
get a
your kind of
historian, totally
Probably
shit-faced.
would be.
They get an expert on somebody completely hammered. It would be like if we got Harvey K on here and got him wasted and started
All
talking
right.
about Thomas Paine, and then Jake and I reenacted the story he's
It
telling.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I gotta
Anybody
look
feel
into
like
this.
anybody feel like segueing to current events?
I love current events. Absolutely.
The floor is yours.
Well, there's this guy that lives about, I don't know, 223 miles from me in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and he beheaded his father.
Oh, I love this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh
great-
my
great
god, this
segue.
guy is awesome.
I
Has
don't
anyone
love-
seen the video?
I did today. And I don't
Oh.
love
Oh,
the
no.
guy. I think it's
I love this guy, man.
Okay, Andrea.
No
you
way.
can love him, but this guy, I mean, if this guy lives not that far, I mean, they're walking amongst us. And I did this whole thing on my Facebook page. I know everybody on Facebook hates me because I publish shit. And I actually took a video of that video and put it on Facebook and said, these fuckers walk amongst us.
With the
So here's my
beheading?
thing.
Fuck nuts. He's
So
so
he
angry. That's what
beheaded
you
his
do?
father, right?
Yeah.
He cut off his head and then made a video about it. I
Yeah.
say this, if you're raising a Trump supporter, you deserved it. I'm sorry.
No.
You're a failed parent. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're
my
raising
gosh.
someone to
That's-
become a Trumper. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's a
but
logical conclusion.
He
I
killed
don't know.
him
Like,
because
what were
he
you thinking?
worked for the federal government. This guy is delusional, and people are going to say to me, "Well, you know, it's mental health, it's mental illness." Okay, but there are then
Combined with-
40 million in the cult that are mentally ill,
He-
and now they're going to behead their fathers and parents and people. I mean, this is fucked up.
This is awesome. Like, let them kill their families, you know, and then we can just sit and watch.
This
His
is the
father was a
thing.
Democrat, Mike says, but it doesn't. If
I-
the
Yeah,
guy
that's
was
Is a
delusional.
failed father either way. If you're raising a child and they turn out
That
to be a
kills you?
Trumper,
How
you're a
can- You
failure. I don't
cannot,
know.
as a parent, you can't always. You can do the best
I
you can.
don't think we should be calling this a beheading, because that would
It
be
wasn't.
like your sentence is a beheading. He
It was
decapitated
it was a
human being.
beheading, though. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was
have you seen the
disgusting.
video?
No, I mean he decapitated somebody, which is beyond murder.
Gross.
It's
Yeah.
you are sending a message.
It's
Yeah.
so
And-
I
fun.
can't wait for Dr. Grandy to
I
analyze
watched-
that.
I watched
watch
the
him.
Majority Report coverage of this, and Sam was saying that guy sounds exactly like people who are just considered totally normal YouTube
Yep.
host or totally normal
I heard
radio host or
Mhm.
what or conservative media people.
it. Mhm.
He did something totally off the rails, and then he goes into this rant that sounds exactly like he's just memorized what's been said on all these conservative networks.
Yep.
That is the story here.
They're all
That is
insane.
what people should be talking to.
No, they're
Well, and
radicalized.
it's-
It's like a big
What-
sucking sound.
But
Let
it's
me toss this up.
beyond what is it called? And I'll let you go. Jake,
Critical
but
mass.
No,
We're a
what's
critical
it called?
mass.
Stochastic terrorism.
Yes.
Yes.
Stochastic.
Stochastic
basically what it
terrorism.
is.
And
That
people are
is what it
saying,
is.
you know, it's like,
Agreed.
okay, what are we going to have regular beheadings now, like ISIS? And it's crazy what's happening, what we're witnessing.
That's exactly what is going on. It is literally stochastic terrorism. And to walk the line between what you guys were saying, it's your initial gut reactions there are important to note, because it's not that they're all crazy. It's that
No.
some of them in any group, in our group, in people that
It's
are
psychosis.
consider themselves progressives, there will be people who are, to put the blanket term on it, crazy. But what makes it stochastic terrorism is
Mhm.
that when you put out these messages, you know that those people amongst your group will react that way, and we should note that what he said after doing that heinous act
Mhm.
was indiscernible from the
Rehearsed.
standard message these people give. That is
How do you
know
like?
it's
That's the
stochastic
thing is,
terrorism.
how do you go ahead and like say like, oh, by the way, you know, here's my fucking
Might
dad's head or whatever. Anyway, here's some
Yeah.
YouTube video like script I printed out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, like the way that
Crazy.
like it that is impressive. Like I just from an acting, you know, capability, like the ability to just do that performance. God damn, man, the whole thing is insane.
I'm sure if we had CAT scan of that guy's brain.
Better
at the
than-
time
Can we
he
show the
decided
video? Are we? No, I'm just
that
kidding.
the-
I'm just kidding.
I have
The
clips
After
of
took
it,
it
but
down.
does not
he-
light up at all.
you're right, Matt. That, and I didn't see that today, but you are right about it was all written out. It's but
It's
now
indiscernible,
will
like
this
Jake said.
kind
Yeah,
of
it's
stuff be
verbatim.
replicated?
Yes. So
Yes.
here's the deal. Every time, this is why they do it, because they know full well that they are giving credence to otherwise insane thoughts that these people are having, right? And they're it's what Rush Limbaugh used to do just in general, is be like,
Yes.
these weird thoughts you're having aren't weird, it's true, it's real. If you thought it, it's real.
Wow.
And now what they're doing is they're saying it so these things can happen, so that the quote unquote left woke mob can say, you did this, and they go, oh, come on, you're just trying to condemn everyone. And that is a secret little wink
Gaslighting.
at
Mhm.
everyone else out there going, keep
They're going to
doing
say
it.
it's a psyop. I can't wait to see what's out
Psyop.
on Twitter
Psyop.
tomorrow. How it's going to be. Oh no, that's not real. That's an AI video. This didn't happen. The feds are setting it up. It's the CIA.
look
it's
at
the
it
New
like-
World Order
yeah.
of the globalists.
PSYOP is secret code for, I am telling you to do this, and you did it. You got my message. That
Yeah.
was right. If I say it was a PSYOP, that translates to somebody out there that it's not a PSYOP. We just say that so that they can tell me that I did the right thing, so that we're all
Right.
doing the right thing.
Just
and
look
I
at
don't care what
January
happens.
6th. Like, these people, all they need is like one motherfucker to say, "Yo, let's go do this thing," and they're ready to go do some crazy shit.
Well, they're
like that bitch that was
legitimized.
climbing through the fucking window and got her head blown off or whatever. Like, goddamn. Like, all she needed was someone say, like, "Hey, bitch, you want to go storm the Capitol?" And she's like, right there. She's ready to go. Because all these guys are gassed up fucking sleeper cell
then-
bitches.
And then when you're there, it's a mob mentality, and now it's like when bees rub.
They're
their
not
wings
even like
together, they go
human in
cra-
the
they go
sense that
more
they have
bee.
an individuality. They're just a fucking creature. They're a cryptid, you know, they're a fucking beast machine, non-thinking, like, sack of cells, you know, like
Yeah,
these motherfuckers
but
are
do
just
you ever
despicable,
think-
like,
do you ever
unthinking morons.
But do you think that maybe, he went to Penn State and he couldn't
That's his
pay
first
his
mistake.
he couldn't pay his student loans? I mean, do you think that social media and this whole, I don't want to use the word rabbit hole. We already talked about that with Brett the other night. But this whole cult type of surroundings. I mean, could these people have been just like you and me at one point? I mean, is this psychosis, this mass psychosis, that strong of a pull? I mean, I really feel like I want to research this more, this
Yeah,
behavior.
it is that strong. There's different levels of justifying what people were already thinking.
God.
And there's a lot of like, oh yeah, no, I was in a Facebook group that was sort of like this, and now we'll just gravitate toward what we're hearing from the president or whatever, right? And we'll make that our motto or our
Right.
mission statement now. But then there's other people out there who are like, I have a calling.
Yeah.
They keep saying the Lord.
Yep.
There was this lady she kept saying, the Bible tells us to look out for the one government and the Antichrist. And it's like, what?
They're reading
What are
what
you
they
talking
want
about?
into the Bible.
Right.
They don't even
And
read
so,
the Bible.
So now there's people out there that go, oh, it is God. They think, and this is what the majority report was covering.
got some
We
good
might as well
comments.
show the clip at this point, but she was
Right.
saying,
Yeah,
I had a
if we can.
vision. God came to me in a dream, and when I woke up, he gave me a vision. And then I heard God say, and this is a long night with you and God, so you can go on YouTube and tell people what happened. I'm not impressed. But there's other people out there going, oh, so when you hear that, that's God. No, that's your thoughts.
Yeah.
Sorry, you came
Well,
up with that,
Yeah.
but they
most
hear
people-
God's telling me.
Most people believe in God. That's the first mistake. Like, if
But
you are
that's
susceptible
different
to
than-
believing in it, like, it's just like, it's the slippery slope. But like, like, you believe that there's a magical being out there, right? So if there is a magical being out there, is it really that much of a stretch that they could be talking to you? Like, they're a magical fucking
Yeah.
being
What
that
it comes
created
down
all
to
of the
is-
universe.
What it comes down to is if these people who are out there saying, God talked to me and God told me that Trump should be president, if they really cared about people, they would be making sure that everyone had access to mental health providers or
Yep.
what I'm struggling for the term. You know what I mean? Had access to insurance, had
Mhm.
access to, medications that they require, therapy, counseling, whatever it is, right? They'd be advocating for things that help people, not prop up the former president at all cost, no matter what. And so we'll use the Bible and God. Do you know
Well, yeah,
what I
they
mean?
don't care
Like,
about
course.
solutions. They're just fucking. They're the savages. They're just using words as a weapon to confuse people.
and so I think it's more people being susceptible to just following along with whatever than it is, quote unquote, a belief in God.
It's
Well, if
very-
religion
oh,
was
go ahead.
created to control us, which I think it was by historically, a religion it controls, it mind controls, not just explains what the unexplainable was at one time, it controls. And so we're seeing this other entity meshing with those that are already controlled by these religions, which not everybody is a terrible person because they're religious. I'm talking more of the orthodoxy, the people, the evangelicals, not others, but they're controlled. And now they're controlled by this phenomena. But we've seen the phenomena. We've seen it in other countries. It replicates. History repeats itself. And if you are religious, but you're normal, you say it's evil. Well,
if you guys want to genuinely understand what happens here, because it's
Yeah.
not just some lady saying like God talk to me. This is a person who styles himself as a prophet, and if you are familiar with the Christian religion,
mhm.
that has more weight than just somebody saying, "Oh, the other day
Right.
the most amazing thing happened." That's an
Okay.
actual talked about in the Bible thing, receiving prophecies from God.
Yes.
I would
True.
recommend you watch just one or two videos from either Owen Morgan or
Oh, I
Cults
watched him
to
today.
Consciousness.
He was who I was watching this
Or
morning.
who? Or who? What was the other one?
Cults to Consciousness.
Really?
But
Okay.
but both of them are from what I
Yeah.
would describe as religious cults.
Oh, yeah.
and
Owen
they
is cool.
left. Yeah.
He
for
was on
sure.
this morning, so I was listening to him, and then I completely was cleaning and doing and whatever, and didn't listen to Sam's analysis
Fantastic.
today.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job of explaining the relevance of what you're hearing. Like, it's a big deal. Like,
Good.
for example, there's all these people that believe or claim to believe that Trump actually won the election, and it
Mhm.
sounds absolutely crazy to us because there's this mountain of evidence. But you have to understand that they followed a preacher who told them that that they heard from God
Mhm.
that Trump would win the election. And then after
Oh,
Trump
God.
lost the election, that person comes from a religion where if you give one false prophecy, you are a false prophet. No one should listen to you. So that person who is a con artist and who is conning people who have sincere religious beliefs then goes into this, they'll do a whole hour-long stream about why Trump secretly won. And now you see where the motivation comes for them to convince their audience that Trump secretly won. And then that's what you end up talking to, is the person who's just heard this hour-long thing from a person whose opinion they already respected,
Yeah.
who's now convinced them that, oh, there's a conspiracy against yada yada. You can trace where this stuff comes from, and more importantly, the motivations. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
if we want to address this, we got to say, like, we have to start talking in their language and say, like, that is a false prophet. You don't have to
Yeah.
give up your religion. You have to stop following false prophets, like your religion says.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
if we want to fix this problem, we also need to like introduce a law that bans teaching kids about religion at all until they're 18. I don't think any kid should be indoctrinated into
No.
any cult.
I will strongly fight against that law.
I think if you were going to teach your kid evolution is not real, there's a magical sky daddy in the sky and he's great, like, you're just setting
Yeah,
your kid up
Yeah.
to fall for a fucking
Mm.
scam or
You
to
mean in
become
public
like a crazy
schools?
person later.
Is
Yeah,
Now, I
public
just
schools.
don't think parents should be telling kids that God is real. It's like, Like, I mean, if you want to tell them maybe at 5 or 6, you know, like, by the way, God, Santa, Easter Bunny, it's all made up or whatever, that's fine. But like this idea that we're supposed to, oh, Santa's not real, gotcha, Easter Bunny not real, so that means God's not real too, and then you get fucking smacked in the mouth or some shit. Like, that like fucks with a kid's ability to perceive reality at a fundamental level, and I don't think it should be allowed. I don't think any kid should
Andrea?
hear about this shit in any capacity.
In this society now, where we are going, the religious freedom, the religious liberty is now becoming something that is going to take the taxes, the tax money, you know, going to their schools because the Orthodox Hasidic Jewish community got funding and they made themselves a community. I did a documentary on it, and now they get funded and tax money for their own schools, for their own community. Where so all these communities now have a precedent, and they can even become more entrenched.
Yeah,
More entrenched.
I do think though there's a big difference between wanting to examine the existence of a higher power and saying
Indoctrinate.
God talked to me, Trump
Yeah.
had the election stolen from him,
Right.
decapitate your parents. Like this
Absolutely.
is totally different. Although it's false prophet, yes, it's manipulation of someone's
Tim.
desire to believe in a higher power. And I think that there need to be okay, maybe I don't agree there should be a law where parents aren't allowed to talk to their kids about their religion, their family
don't know
tradition
if
or
that's
whatever,
ever gonna
but
Tradition is fine. Just lying to your kid on purpose. Like if you lie to your kid on purpose, 2 + 2 = 3. They go to school, they answer 2 + 2 = 3, and they lose and
I know
fail
where
out
you're
of school.
coming from.
You're setting your kid up for a shitty life just because you want to lie to them on purpose.
think
Like if you want to light a couple candles and sing a song, that's great. I love that shit. That's super fun. If you want to eat a certain food, that's super cool. But when you lie to your kid on purpose, like God is real and he's looking out for you, I think that there's a problem there.
having been raised Catholic, one thing I always desired in my youth was, because I was skeptical the whole time, but I was like, why are they just giving this to us? Like, yeah, no, of course it's all true. Why aren't they giving it to us in a study kind of a way? Like you'd even go to Sunday school and they were just
Right.
spoon feeding you stuff from the Bible instead of being like, so now let's talk about it. What
It
is
should be
the
one more
structure?
curriculum to
What
learn
is-
about
I
it.
would
Why is there a
I-
structure and a hierarchy here? Not
Okay.
he's in charge and this guy's the authority. That's church. See you next Sunday.
See you
or
next
whatever,
week.
know? Yeah. It's just like, wait, why? I wanted
would
a little
caution.
bit more.
The folks who prey upon the religious, basically the con men, who I think is the actual problem here.
Uh-huh.
One thing
Yeah.
they one of the tools in their evil tool case is to pull examples of that, of people saying like, oh, we got to get rid of all religion, or say make it illegal, make a
Yeah,
law
there you
that
go.
says you can't
Absolutely.
teach. They take that and
The
they
war
play
on
that
Christians.
in front. They play that in
I
front
wish.
of their flock, of the people who follow them, and they
Yeah.
use that to say, see, they want to get you, so you got to listen to me. Basically, that causes what you're doing there. It causes the problem, and I would caution against it.
I mean, I
And if you
agree
genuinely
that
believe
con
that, I would
people
say
will use
don't.
videos like that, but like at the same time, I don't feel compelled to like lie to people on purpose just because a con man might clip my video. Like if you fall for a con, like you're really fucking stupid to begin with, and like yeah, we can have a discussion of like, you know, how much stupidity is their fault, and like, you know, is their parents raised them to be stupid so they couldn't like actually see through the con, right? But I just don't care about the religion stuff. So like my perspective is like I'm trying to shift the Overton window as far close enough to reality as possible. So that's my perspective.
I do understand where you're coming from. It's
Sure.
just that I see people fall into rabbit holes when they were right on the edge and they didn't have to, and it makes me sad, is all.
Yeah,
No, I
think
agree. I've had people in my family go off the rails with
I've seen
like
it
Christ
more
and stuff, and it sucks.
I've seen it more since 2015, right? Since Trump, I have friends that were never talk about it, never. They never talked about their faith. And all of a sudden they're starting to post all this shit on their Facebook pages about the Lord and all that. They never did. And I was kind of shocked. I'm not putting them down. There's a lot of Christian authors I like Jared Brock, and we have followers that are of faith. They're not the problem. But it just became like, it seems to me that with this political cult, the religious is so enmeshed now. I couldn't believe that people were putting the shit up they were putting. Never knew.
I just think what's crazy is that you could actually read the Bible and then believe that the people who want health care for everyone are the enemy.
Yeah.
That is because you are just deliberately, you want to talk about stupid. You have just deliberately ignored the central theme of the book. It's like if I read The Lord of the Rings and then you were like, so what was that about? And I go, this is the origins of Thanksgiving. You'd be like, what book did you read? I'd say,
it's
with
like
Gandalf
if you
and Frodo,
ask,
you know.
If you
So
ask
true.
Republicans to explain like what 1984 is about, they're gonna like come up with some crazy ass conspiracy shit that has nothing to do with the movie. Like it's just like Republicans don't understand literature, and this goes with everything. They don't understand the basic tenets of like the English language to the point where like you can construct a story. They don't get any of it. They don't understand metaphor. They don't understand symbolism. They don't understand like, you know, wait, so you can
is
say
true.
something and then 3 minutes later, that line is referenced and it means something else now. Like, they just don't understand. Like, they don't understand how stories work. They're just fucking stupid. They got marbles in their brains, you know?
40K is the perfect example of that. I see so many like right-wing folks who like keep
Yeah, they think that
saying, like,
Warhammer
Trump is the
40K
God
is
Emperor.
like, yeah, man, isn't it great that we're all fascists? Like, no!
Oh,
Like, that's
shit,
the point
no.
is that it's fucking bad.
And for those who don't know, Warhammer 40K is a tabletop game setting where
Yeah, I know what
literally
it is.
every faction is the bad guy. That's
Every
the gag of the thing.
Yeah. Holy
You
crap.
can only play bad guys, and they're like, "Yeah, we're the good guys. We're this faction of evil people." Like, you don't want to be that.
Who are those guys? The good liars? The two guys
Yeah.
that go to those Trump rallies?
Yeah.
They were
pretty
at
good.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was
There's
like
a bunch of them now.
a new video or sometimes TikTok will show you stuff from years ago. But anyway,
I don't
they
have
asked
it.
this guy, and I mean, it could be from today. It doesn't matter when it was from originally. But they asked
Right.
this guy, you know, what is it that you don't like about Biden or whatever? He starts saying all this stuff. And then they're like, well, what about all this negative stuff that Trump did? And they're like, doesn't matter. And they're like, why?
Yeah,
He
right,
goes, I'll tell you what,
exactly.
Trump could do anything and he should still be in charge because this is what they say. You might not be a Nazi, but all your supporters are. You might not be a racist, but a lot of your supporters are, right? It's because your policies benefit the worst of society
God.
and prop up their, you know, hate. And so it's like, if you're not gonna,
Hey.
if like, remember when that John McCain was doing like a town hall and that lady said, I don't like Barack Obama because he's an Arab or a terrorist or whatever. And he said, no, he's a family man. He's a good person.
Absolutely.
That is the past. They don't do that anymore. They don't find a way to correct the record and course correct somebody's wrong thinking.
No.
Yeah, Donald
Now
Trump would be
they
like,
lean
damn
into
right
it.
he's a terrorist. We gotta
go,
lock
well,
him up and, you know, like do some crazy ass
You got to
shit.
ask yourself, people are saying this, you know, and it's like they do anything they can to make people not see reality of the situation, and that is bad. It makes people who are already
Yep.
going down the wrong path keep going that way, and it puts other people on that same path.
Fan
so
in the
it's like-
flames.
And again, it's like if people are just telling you what makes you feel good, it might not be. It's such an old thing. I can't believe people continue to fall for this.
And
It makes me
imagine
upset.
heart
Of
attack.
course. Because we're
And-
thinking people who have a perspective. We have a worldview that's a lot different than that. You know, we don't. We're not susceptible to that.
if you
I suppose.
and you had two doctors and one tells you one, as far as you can tell, they're equally qualified. One tells you you don't have to change anything about yourself. Your heart attack is your neighbor's fault. And so what we're going to do is throw rocks at your neighbor. And the other doctor says, well, that's insane. No, you've got to change your diet. You got to start exercising a little bit. And they tell you all these things that you don't want to hear. How you would react to that basically tells you which party you're voting for. The Republican Party, basically the reason we have people that are supporting Obama and Bernie Sanders and these people promising big things, Trump as well, promising big things, is because there is an understanding that something is wrong in the United States. We've been living it for a long time. Kids are killed in school, people's productivity is going up, but their pay is going down, and all the consequences of that. And one party is saying, you don't have to change anything about yourself. If you choose to believe what we're saying, you don't have to change anything about yourself. And I am concerned that these people who don't actually benefit ever from the Republicans are still willing to believe that the answer is their neighbor gave them the heart attack. We'll have to chip away at that, but I see that as the source of the problem. All the
It's the
stuff
party
they
of
say,
gaslighting. That's what gaslighting is. You blame everybody, or narcissism. You
But
blame
I
everybody else for everything.
from what I've heard of them, I don't believe that they actually believe any of the things they say. I don't even believe that they think Trump is going to help them. I just think they're of the belief that Trump is going to hurt other people. And they've been told for so long that those other people are the cause of their problems. They don't see Trump as the doctor. They see Trump as the rock.
The cruelty is the point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that better? Is my mic better now? My mouth was far
Yeah.
away from it.
Yeah,
Sounds
sorry.
good to me.
I'd hear you start to talk, and then somebody would talk right over you, and I'm like, oh, it's because they can't
That's
hear
for the
him.
best.
But no, everyone
That's
gets
for
to
the
talk.
best.
But so this is an important conversation, but let's not forget the guy that just did this to his dad and put it on YouTube, that's nothing new. There was a guy who did this to his whole family because he thought they were lizard people like less than 12 months ago. Like this, the news cycle,
People
this shit
that drive
gets lost.
Vans into crowds.
It's
That's
happening
why
a
there's
lot.
so much true crime analysis on YouTube, like so many different channels, and I stumbled into all that, so I watched this Dr. Grandy. He does a 20-minute analysis of a disgusting, horrible story. He has a show 6 days a week because there are so many disgusting, horrible stories. Until I started watching him, I didn't realize how many people are killing their families, how many murders there are. It's constant.
Well,
and
yeah,
he goes over for years.
But this is my point, and I mean that is insane. But my
It's
point is that
insane.
it's happening because of politics.
Yeah.
Politics specific.
And
and
quote
you don't
unquote
see,
conservative politics, which isn't conservative and it isn't politics,
Yeah.
but it's been molded into this thing that is allowing people to just lean into the worst of it.
The worst.
you don't see progressives doing this stuff, nor should you.
No. I don't.
But it tells you who the good guys and the bad guys are. But we should be concerned that this is a MAGA specific thing. Let's be crystal
That's
clear.
exactly. Yeah. We're not.
Yeah.
It's a terrorist
I'm
group,
not putting
my
in
opinion.
the people that are the beautiful spiritual people that follow us, or people that truly believe in Jesus, but they are doing it right, like Reverend Ed up in British Columbia, who's on YouTube, who's really the best one out there to listen to for inspiration. Walking that walk, not this MAGA Christianity. Or well, when did that start? The televangelism. When did that really take off? I mean, they've always had the appeal, these certain elements, right?
I would say
In the
the
10s?
Reagan years are probably where they gained a lot of power.
That's where it got super huge. But Father Coughlin
But in the 20s,
Detroit,
Father who?
in the 40s, he actually was involved in a terrorist plot and helped the Nazi war effort. He was part. He seems to have done some stochastic terrorism that inspired people to blow up a U.S. ammunition dump.
Father Cochran?
Coughlin.
Oh, Conklin. Okay.
He had the it's like Coughlin. He was a priest in
Wow,
the
that's
Detroit
history.
area, had a radio show, had millions of listeners a week. And the only
Wow.
reason that he went down in popularity was because we got attacked at Pearl Harbor, we joined the war effort, started fighting the Nazis, lost some family to people around the country, lost family to Nazis, and he kind of petered off then. But by the way, when he went to court for that for basically being a stochastic terrorist, he got let go. He wasn't found to have been involved at all, even though he very clearly was.
It's because the
Um,
legal system is not set up to deal with complex problems like we deal with. The legal system is set up to defend rich people's property, and that's it. So, like, when you have someone saying, like, yeah, go blow this bullshit up so that we can, like, let Adolf Hitler take over the world or something, like, no, man, it's just free speech. I don't know. It's just free speech because the legal system's not designed to actually deal with a fucking problem.
I
Well,
would say it is
Yeah.
complex problems, but it's reliant upon the people who are in it, and we have ceded that since frankly the beginning to the right wing. So when
Yeah.
the laws are interpreted by right wingers, they tend to be surprisingly very favorable to right wingers, and of course the rich. Sure.
do you remember Sister Amy? Have you ever read about her from the 20s?
Tell me
no.
more.
She
What'd
was a
she
very
do?
glamorous
Yeah.
female evangelical preacher who would talk about, like, what's the doomsday part that's not really in the Bible, but they always talk about this?
Revelation.
No, well,
That's the whole
Revelations
book.
is the Bible. There's a whole nother thing where it's like,
Oh, they've
that's
made
not
up
in the
their
Bible.
own.
yeah, where people are like, that's not in the Bible.
Right.
It's I can't remember what it's called, but
End of times prophecy.
yeah, it's
the
like
Dead-
that kind of, huh?
Dead Sea Scrolls.
No,
The
no,
Watchtower
it's
Society. There's a lot to choose from, actually. Now that I think
It's-
about it.
it's something
Yeah.
specific. Maybe somebody will
Oh,
say it in the
shit.
chat. It's not Revelations, but anyway, the Rapture. Thank you.
That's it. The rapture.
anti-corporatist. That's it.
Good
That's
man.
not in the
Always
Bible. So,
a sharp cat.
Um,
Hey, AC.
so
he is.
it's
He is. That he is.
that was a big one because that was during like the Dust Bowl era and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and people were really looking for something to hold on to. And why would this be happening if God wasn't angry with us, right? Like,
Sure.
so anyway, it goes back, but I do think like television, they use that tool just like they use the internet now and YouTube and stuff like that, and it's the people that offer these platforms are like, hey, if you can pay, you get advertising, yeah, we'll host you, no problem.
Mm.
And it's just always like finger pointing. It's like, it's not our fault that guy did that. It's not, you can't blame somebody for saying the exact, I mean, he's reiterating, like you said, Jake, it's indiscernible from what these people are saying on their platforms.
Yes.
This guy said
And
it too
they-
right after
I-
doing that atrocious thing to his own father. Like,
Yeah, he sounded like he was Tim Pool.
so
I
this
think
is what
these
I
people
mean.
got to face criminal charges at this point.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. That's the whole thing. How are we
It
going to
won't-
make these?
definitely won't
How are
if
we
we
going to
don't
make the
demand it.
change in this country? I don't want to be negative, but I say that this is the last chance. If Biden does win, because RFK's not going to win, Marianne's not going to win. Who else is running?
Not be said
They're-
in the same breath
All right,
as
but
Marianne and
no,
Cornel
I
West.
know, but they're all in it, okay? And they're followers. There's followers for all of these individuals, but they're not going to win. So if
Yeah.
Biden wins, this is the last shot,
No,
I think, for
well, I don't know
change.
because I hate old sayings, but there's that old saying that you got to hit rock bottom. And I don't think we've hit rock bottom yet before
Oh,
you can start building back up.
yeah, but we can't hit rock bottom because of the environmental issues. This
I mean,
is the last chance.
there's no presidential hopeful I can see that's going to fix the environment.
Yeah, we're fucked.
No.
What we need is, I think my interview guest tonight, Dr. Ball, said it perfectly. We need the movement first, then the candidate. The candidate
Yeah.
needs to come
Right.
out of the movement. And I think that you can't galvanize around a person. I love, and I was just throwing the question out there as I ask everyone, but what I was thinking was his answer. You know, I was like, I wish we
Yeah.
had the motivation and the people first. And then it was like, this is a community leader. They always step up to the plate. They're always there. We will follow them, their lead.
Right.
We'll follow their lead. We won't follow them. They're not a DNA.
We need
but
our own
you know what I
Project
mean.
2025. Thing about Project 2025, and you say, no president, but is going to
Not that I see,
be
not
able
a
to-
hopeful.
yeah, I'm talking, but
A president
if
could.
Trump
help, but-
gets in, we will lose the EPA. We will
True.
lose all of our environmental
it could be worse.
protections.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
will
yeah.
lose. So but that is hit. Do we want to hit that bottom? I mean,
no.
I know what
I
the
didn't
big
say that.
picture. I know.
That's
I know you didn't say that. I'm on my little soapbox right now. I mean, it's
Get on
just. I'm on it. I'm on a goddamn soapbox because
The
I
soap
just,
in bar
Alright.
form.
I'm
I
listening.
don't. I mean, I know what the big picture is for our climate and our world, because I do. But we're still here, and we have a short picture, So why not make it a good place to be while we're
Yeah.
sliding off the mountain?
I just wish saving the planet was as profitable as killing the
Fuck
planet.
yeah!
Because then it would be like everyone loves this idea.
A loving critique of Dr. Ball here. I wholeheartedly agreed with what you're saying and with what he said on your show. I would say, though, I've heard that before. I've heard people say, "Oh, you need the movement first." That it doesn't do us much good if that's not defined in some way. You know what I mean? I take that back. It does do us good.
Bernie
to
defined
view
it.
things like that.
I think it
No,
should be labor.
Yeah, labor,
Yeah.
that works. Absolutely. I would
I do.
also add to that, the House is really easy to get people elected to, frankly. Our primary focus should be the House, our secondary, the Senate, and our third, the White House. The president can only veto a bill twice or once. The second time, if it passes, there's nothing they can do about it. They gotta sign it. If we had full control of the House and Senate, we could force even Trump to sign bills he hates. Could he still do things that we hate? Sure. But I think the power of the House and Senate is
Yeah,
ignored by the left. That's where
It's very important.
electorally, that's where we get some of the movement power. Also, you're completely right. We are rediscovering the power of our labor because we're the ones doing it, but we've been told that we have no power. No, unionize, baby. For that matter.
Everything.
For that matter. Yes, absolutely. You guys, let me toss this
Believe
at
it.
you. You remember those Dare ads where there'd always be some guy like, "Hey kid, you want to smoke this?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
Fuck
it
yeah, I
in
do.
the
What's
private
in it?
chat.
Yeah, I was like,
pass
glad
over
you
that
asked.
friggin' joint right now.
We should
Twist
be
my arm
that-
campaign or whatever.
We should be that character, but with workerorganizing.org. Just go to people who are complaining about their jobs and be like, you wanna try unionizing? Hey, you wanna try unionizing? I got a pamphlet here for you.
Can we unionize
If it-
Social Security recipients?
Ooh,
I'm disabled, and I'm on here. And, yeah, I mean, yeah.
bookmark. You'll seem like the wisest. I want to get back to that in a second, Sadie. But just crowd, gang.
I'm reading the
You'll
chat.
seem like the wisest people in your group of whatever. If every time somebody's bitching about their job, you actually have something they could do about it. If they're like, my boss is such a scumbag, he just tried to cheat me out of hours again, or blah 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 blah.
Back.
Be like, you want to fuck up your boss's whole day? Take the power from him. Here's what you can do, buddy. I got something you can actually do if you got the balls to do it. I'll help you.
The balls? Did I hear you
Balls.
sound like you come from the Bronx?
Check this out. I want to show you something else now that we're on this subject.
Okay.
I do want to say, unionizing Social Security recipients, there's something to that. That's a good idea.
It's,
know you were
and they
gagging,
get
but joking.
scammed in so many ways.
So here's
right.
this comic book artist from Australia who did the book. He did a graphic novel called our numbers be unlimited, which is the labor organizing union slogan. It's a history of unions. He worked in an Amazon warehouse when he made the book. He has free art that you can just print
That's
out and put
cool.
in your break room at work. You know what I
That's
mean?
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. This is
Professional.
the
Give me that
good
link.
shit. I love like putting
Yeah.
stickers on telephone poles
Yeah.
and all that fucking
Let's
shit.
So
do
you
that.
just have
Guys,
to
let's do this everywhere.
just have to contact him and say, hey, I'm going to use your art for my break room. I want to get people like noticing these slogans. And anyway, it's all free as long as you just kind of give them the heads up.
F
You
that,
know-
man. I mean, not F that. That's wonderful. But let's make our own stuff. I'm going to start putting out.
This is nice. These are nice.
I'm
Yeah,
going
This
to
is
start
yeah.
putting out
great.
stuff with the QR code for that website. I'm going to start putting out things that you can
Oh, I
place
see.
places.
Well, that's your
to,
channel. What
yeah.
you can do. That is your
Exactly.
channel. So
I should
that's,
probably
that's
be
perfect.
doing this on my show.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you
start
will.
doing that.
That's good
Just
stuff.
let's have this crew that's listening
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
have access to things to spread this message far and wide. F the
Yeah.
man. Let's F him up.
Okay, I want a doomer union. All the
Doomer
doomers
union.
on Twitter and all of my doomer
Did
followers.
someone say
we're gonna,
doom?
Yeah, we're gonna get a doomer union.
I
I
just
love
like that you
doomer
can
humor.
you can put
like
that
it. Like-
artwork.
Oh my book.
You could put that artwork on your own
Yeah.
flyer. Keep that in mind. Like you could take some of that art and put it on a flyer that
beautiful.
you've typed out. We're meeting at this time and date and location. And then put that art on it. So now it's like, boom, another level of professionalism seems legit. You know, I really appreciate that part. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I love the idea. Two groups
That'd be
meeting,
cool.
and they're like, it's the doomers who believe that things are doomed, and it's fans of the video game franchise Doom. But when they meet up, instead of chaos, they're like, well, okay, we'll go protest together. F it.
Yeah,
a little
there
bit
you
of this,
go.
a little bit of
Sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
pretty
shit.
big overlap. It's like a Venn diagram. It's almost two circles
There you
that
go.
are on top of each other. And
That's
It's
good.
just
You know-
an electric. What's it's just like an electric guitar version of Impeach the President. Yeah, I like that.
All right, the unionized doomosphere. I'm shouting out
Yes.
to all of you that are on my channel chat.
Oh, we've been
man.
just over an hour and 18 minutes.
I've enjoyed this whole
just
conversation.
over an
That
hour
too,
was
man.
like fucking 17 and a half minutes
It's
ago.
11:20 p.m. on the East Coast.
Mhm.
Yeah, talking
Yeah.
about how much I hate God has really juiced me up. I'm all excited now, so let's keep going.
But see, this is funny because
I
you're
don't-
directing your hate at something that apparently doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
So maybe you want to rethink that. It's a little
Fuck!
wasting energy on that.
God, I did it again.
Should
Oh,
be
shit.
I always do
pretty
this.
easy to ignore.
That's funny.
It's like when people critique
He's
a
funny.
Batman comic and they go, "Batman wouldn't do that." I'm like, you know what? You're right, because there is no fucking Batman, nerd. I hate it. There's one where Batman was on this satellite, like space station, and he's escaping this bad guy. So he jumps out, and he rips his briefs off because they're just bat briefs.
Sure.
Wraps them around his face. This is gonna make him keep from exploding or freezing or whichever happens first. And he
Great
falls into
briefs.
the orbit and actually makes it all the way back to Earth. And somebody was like, "I'm done. I'm done with this." Is like a video on YouTube. They go, "I am done." That is so Batman would never do that. You can't. He starts breaking down how it's impossible for a human to do this, right? And I'm like, he's best friends with Superman. Like, what the fuck about this is realistic, man? I don't want to see a comic book where Batman's like, well, I can't fall to Earth from space. I guess I'll die. Dumb. Dad, I want to see him
Yeah.
fall to Earth. I think that's wild, man. Let's see
I
it.
guess I'll die. I want to see that ending personally.
I'm sure that's
First of
out
all,
there.
I would
Where
absolutely
Batman
watch it.
says,
It's
"Ah,
just like,
shit, I guess I'm dead now," and then just dies. That would be awesome.
Yes.
He did just die and come back. It's so, I mean, it happens
That's
all
true.
the time.
And he did it in the most Batman way possible, fighting his way through history
Yeah.
Whooping asses
It always
in all
happens.
centuries.
It's so, it's just like the superheroes now stand around and talk about how isn't it weird that we've died? Like all of us have died and come back. And like it's just usually it's a writer backing themselves into a corner and they go, well, let's bring them back because
Oh.
our sales need to go back up.
Yeah.
That's
But it's to the point where
interesting.
they've done it so much that the characters themselves are now like, isn't it weird
it'd
that
be-
we died? They're so aware of it.
Yeah,
The characters
Weird
are
if they
aware.
didn't talk about it. Like, hey, gang, should we all just show of hands? Did anybody else see nothing? Nothing when they die? Oh, only half are raising their hands. That's very worrying. What you? Hey, Clark, what did you see? Okay, there's a Kryptonian afterlife.
Hey,
All
I
right.
have a comment.
Yeah.
This is a callback to several weeks ago, but on the subject, over the last several weeks, I saw Flatliners.
Oh.
what'd you think?
Oh, I mean, it was great. It was wonderful.
That's
Yes.
a good one.
I
Yeah.
didn't see that yet,
Oh,
did
we-
I?
we should
Maybe
you
I
didn't see it.
have. I don't know. I see
from the
movies. I
80s.
forget the name. I must have seen it then.
80s, right?
1991. So
91.
Well, that's the 80s. So I,
Okay.
I mean, that 90s hadn't come into their own until at least 93.
I
Um,
get it, totally.
But yeah, that's a good one. Oh, it's so good. What a cast.
Okay.
My gosh.
Do you know what popped in my YouTube? Do you remember? I don't know why this popped in my YouTube. This old show. I guess because I need a mind break, called Alf. 1986.
Oh yeah.
Alf. Yeah.
I was
Alf is-
obsessed.
Well, I am now watching Alf at night.
Oh,
Besides
cool.
Dr. Grandy's true crime horror stories of everybody killing everybody else, now I'm watching Alf. And it's just so enjoyable.
Okay, here's my question.
I'm just, but real quick, she's saying Alf so much.
Alf.
Let's just lean into this. I want to see how
Alf.
many suggestions we can get in your guys' algorithm based on Alf, Alf funny, Alf clips, Alf funny clips, Alf
Okay.
compilation. Okay,
Everybody put
now
in
go on.
hashtag Alf.
alfalfa.
No, don't type it. Let's just see how much they're spying
Oh.
on us.
Where to buy
Oh.
alfalfa sprouts online?
So we'll look. Okay. we'll see.
2024.
I love Alf too. I hadn't watched it since it was on. I mean, I've never watched the reruns. And now I'm sitting there going, holy shit, what was I doing in 1986? You know, and did my house look like that? Pink.
Man, I'm
that
sorry.
was a
I
Oh,
want to get my
totally.
house to look
I'm
like
loving
some
the chat
fucking
right now.
1970s or 80s. Like,
shit.
I want big, like, striped wallpaper with, like, neon colors and, like, all this fucking crap. Can you
Oh.
believe people used to live like that? Because I can, and I want to
They
go
will
back.
again. They will
It will.
again.
Yeah.
So our conversation led me to an
little
interesting thought,
pervert.
and I want to throw this out there. And I guess Andrea, I need you to.
How about you
answer
just
this
throw it out
first.
the window? I don't think I want to hear this.
I need you to answer this first.
Uh,
Does I love it?
God damn it. Ow.
That kind of answers my question.
That
oh,
actually
shit.
hurt me. I'm injured.
Okay, I hope
Dying
you
to
didn't
hear
land
this
on
now.
your wrist. I need to
Can
know
you
if
still
like,
hear us?
Ah,
does
Hello?
the afterlife does an
Wait,
afterlife
hold on. What?
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Poor man.
I'm getting into this,
wanna
man.
hear
This
this.
has been a fun show tonight, even though we covered the gamut of crazy stuff. All right,
you
go ahead,
okay?
Matt. I'm
Are
waiting.
you okay? You look okay.
She's fine.
Okay, does an afterlife
She's a stunt girl.
rely on a belief in God or a God?
Oh, because you saw somebody else. I saw the.
Well, the
comment.
afterlife
No, I was
is.
saying like if you
Oh.
die and don't see anything, is that because there's no God or because that's how
No.
it is? So what?
Well,
if you
yeah,
do
the
see
afterlife is
something?
just whatever. It's every experience you've ever had, like being mashed through some like human chemical hormone
Where are you
concoction.
getting that from?
Oh, I got it from Flatliners, obviously.
Oh,
Right.
how about your brain? If we have wireless, all this wireless communication, so what happens to your thought? You know, your brain, your thoughts,
The
everything.
electrical
Does it
impulses.
go somewhere? We'll find out when we go, and I'm closer than
No, but
everybody else.
okay, but does it? I don't. That last part is not accurate, but is the is it relying on a belief in God or
Right.
the existence of God?
I can't
should
even
say.
get in there. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's
I
just
have no
whatever
idea what
you
to say.
believe is showed back to you. That's what I think. So if you believe in God, or if you like, but it's like believe is not engaging with the ego. It's engaging with like your whole entire sense of self, right? So like there are a lot of people that say that they don't really believe in God, you know, like in the ego sense, but like in the id, internally they do believe in God to some degree. That's why you see a lot of these like late stage converts, you know, that are like
Oh,
they're trying to
really?
make up for 50 years of not believing in God or whatever, cuz the whole time they did believe in God deep down, it's just that they didn't tell any, you know. So like whatever you believe deep down inside of your psyche or whatever, I think is projected back to you. So if you think that nothing will happen and you believe that with every ounce of your being, then yeah, nothing will happen.
I'm freezing.
Now, do you actually think
Ugh.
that's the case, or is that just a fun theory?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell without going through it myself.
That's fair. That's fair.
I never think
I mean, I
about
got
it
the boring
other than
answer.
it's
I am a genuine atheist. I don't think there is. I don't
Right.
think there is an afterlife.
ashes to
Okay, so
ashes, dust
Jake,
to dust.
but to my question though, so you don't think there's an afterlife because there is no such thing as God?
Right.
Not even necessarily those two things needing to be related.
That's
but
my question, though.
incidentally,
Do they?
Well, I also would like
No.
to add in that when you're dying, I believe that the time perception shifts, right? So it's like I think that you can experience an afterlife of like 100 billion years in your head the moment you're dying, because time ceases to exist. So it can feel like an afterlife, but it's really happening in a couple seconds or less than.
Oh, the consciousness. The consciousness. As you die, you lose the consciousness. Something comes to you because your brain is made up of. It's a physiological process. You know, like Matt said, the neurons, everything, the synapses, they're all going to go off because they're turning off. But my
Yeah.
question was, where do they go? And I don't believe in, that either, Jake. I'm pretty much on the we're dead.
I mean, if you disassemble a computer, you see what happens to your brain when in the end.
Yes.
Can we get this comment on screen?
Which one?
Oh, you know the one. The big one.
Oh, Andrea? Mars Falcon?
Oh yeah, get this one on there.
I will. Oh, Andrea.
Okay, so
sounds
you know
dis-
what the fucking difference between a religious nutcase and me is? Is that I'm saying I don't fucking know. I'm just guessing. I'm just making some shit up based on scientific reports. You know who doesn't fucking do that? God people. The fucking goddamn people going through fucking
people.
other countries and blowing up kids with fucking goddamn white phosphorus. They don't believe that fucking shit, okay? They think their magical fucking sky universe is like, I will tell you down from the rooftop of my hierarchy, if you disagree with me, you're an outcast. I'm just spitballing here. I'm coming up with random shit. That's called being a human. That's called wondering what the universe is like. That's called having fucking skepticism and genuine wonder about the world around us. No, we don't know. That's what makes it good, that we don't know, so we can have these conversations. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
my
say
answer.
I don't think
some,
it's the
but
mic.
Not all.
No, I was
Some,
raising
but
my
not
voice.
all.
I'm sorry.
That's why I'm writing about what do I call them? Thessians in my sci-fi goofy book. I'm
Tell me more.
obsessed with the idea of, are we the chemical reaction or are we the continuity of thought? Because if you believe only that we are the chemical reaction, then you die when you die. But if you believe that we are a continuity of thought, that as one group of cells replace another and pass along the thoughts, and that's what makes us us. You could replace everything with things that will not expire. You could replace everything with circuits, and you would still be you. And
Well,
it's
they're
a
doing it
philosophical
now.
question.
I
They're
think
doing that now with robot
Good.
dogs in the police departments.
I think our basic concept
They're
of an
robots.
after
That's awesome, though.
They're dogs.
I think our basic concept of an afterlife requires you to learn that you were either right or wrong about something in life. And that
Why?
because we question it. And I think that if this is what I would like to believe, if there's a quote unquote afterlife, it is a level of understanding that is so far beyond anything you experienced in your human form, whatever, walking around, buying sneakers,
Yeah.
driving cars, eating McDonald's, and then going, oh, now that I've smoked this joint, I wonder what happens when you die. Like
That's me every day.
your perception of the universe and all that stuff, I feel like you just become united with everything. Like you just become a part of the fabric of existence, which is not perceptible to us while we're alive. I feel like it is so different and it is so unique that you could never possibly perceive it. It's without shape and form. And I think that that doesn't require consciousness, and it doesn't require you to go, oh, I knew it. Oh shit, some of us figured this out just guessing before we died, and the rest of us are like, oh, I had no idea. I don't think there's anything like that. And I think right now people base what they think happens when you die, if anything, on whether or not they can guess it right now. I think as soon as we start thinking about it, we're like, I bet it's this. Well, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with what you think now. So just whether it's there or not is enough of a question for me, not what happens. And isn't it interesting that as soon as we started talking about, do you believe the existence of an afterlife is based on an existence of God or relying on that, everyone started talking about what they think happens in the afterlife. It's sort of our favorite thing to do, and it's not in any way morbid. Whether it's there or not, and if it is, I bet it's this. And I don't think it's any of that. It can't.
Hey, Matt, what if the afterlife is actually memories of others, of us? There's your afterlife. Other people remembering you.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, I see what
There's
you're
the
saying. Yeah.
afterlife.
I mean, I love that.
fuck.
We've
That is a
created-
horror movie?
As long as it's not
But
a
think about all the
slideshow with
People
music that I
remember.
never would have chosen.
Ugh.
I don't
It's
know.
just
It's
two
just a thought that
princes.
came to my mind. You know, I remember all of my friends that are dead, and they're living on. This is their afterlife is in my brain, and
Yeah, I love
others that they touched, and remember them. I mean,
like
of
that.
course, then
That's
200
really all we got. That's all
Yeah.
we got.
There's 200 years ago, of course, then there's nobody alive to remember anybody. But then there's generational memories. So there's
One of
a
my
theory.
favorite possible afterlives are like the ones where I get to haunt some bitches. Like, I'm gonna open your door in the middle of the night. Like, that's the afterlife I really want to believe in. Like, if anyone has any way for me to believe in that, I would love to. Because, like,
A vindictive
just-
afterlife?
I would love to spite some motherfuckers
if-
when I'm dead.
What if, like,
Oh,
you encounter the ghost of Andrea and she's still like, and runs away? I don't
That
think
would
people in
happen.
public-
Yeah, that would absolutely happen. I would run the fuck away. I would get the hell out of there. You're not supposed to see me. I'm dead. What the fuck?
It's great.
He's just sitting there with cereal for some reason. Like, what? Was the point
My-
of this then?
My grandmother's best friend, some of my family have recently visited this woman.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about it too much, but suddenly she can't remember anything like within the last 20 years.
Hmm.
But she has
Ooh.
these vivid, amazing memories of the stuff that I would think would be difficult to remember at the age of, when you're in your 90s.
I'm
Do
in.
you know what I mean? And she has, it's like she can't remember or can't recall the last 20 years or put names to faces of people she's known their whole
Oh
lives.
my God, I'm scared of that.
But no,
I
but
can't
look,
wait.
But this is the beauty of it is that it's still in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
crystal clear. The stuff that's foggy now, while you're trying to think of what you did yesterday and what you got to do tomorrow and later tonight or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the stuff from when she was a kid and when she first
Wow,
met her
come
husband,
flushing
and
back. I mean,
it's
rushing
no,
back.
it's just
Wow.
there. It's
Yeah.
perfectly there. I think that's the human brain is so powerful, and we just,
Mhm.
of course, we don't reach our full potential, But I think that going back to some of the discussion we've had tonight about people just allowing themselves to be duped and all that, you might get to a point in your life where you don't even recall that part. You know, what if you're like in your 90s and your loved ones are like, still think Trump won that election? You'd be like, who? No, I'm thinking back to when I was a kid and my mom would take us to the park or
Yeah,
whatever.
the good stuff. You're not
Or
going to
just
start
like the
thinking-
early stuff before it got adult and complicated and the quote unquote stuff that matters. It's what matters is what you have. It's like it's not in amber, but it's safe. You know what I mean? You have these experiences in your life that you don't think about all the time, but they are safe in the back of your mind exactly how they happened. You can remember them perfectly. And I think it's unique that it comes out when they don't choose to or mean to. It's just the mind reverted back to this part that isn't recent, but is like picture
It's the comfort
perfect.
blanket.
All
Yeah,
the
that's
details
wild.
are there. I think
did
it's
you
cool.
ever take brain chemistry or psychology of the
What do you
of the
mean brain chemistry?
in
I took a
in
lot of
college?
chemistry and it
Yeah,
went
I
right to
know.
my brain.
Right to your
man.
brain. That was
Hey-o.
good. That was a beyond dad joke. Boom.
I took a lot of
The
A
full-on
chemistry.
lot.
uncle joke.
A lot of trips.
Donald James X was saying anyone who's done extreme amounts of psychedelics would know if there's an afterlife. And I'm here to tell you, I still don't know if there's an afterlife.
Are you guys willing to get just a little bit petty?
Okay.
Petty.
Just a little bit.
No,
Sure.
No.
I mean,
I hate
about
being
right.
Everybody
petty?
but Andrea.
I would never be petty.
No.
I've never been petty. You will never see me be petty. It's not going to happen,
Fair enough.
including right now.
I'll
Shit.
toss this to everybody but Andrea. Unless you change your mind halfway through, you're welcome to join in. The it's sad and maybe a little sick as this is. At some point, we're going to have the full story on Donald Trump. At some point, we're going to have like a full record of everything that motherfucker did, or
It's
at
gonna be
least
great.
Yeah, and at some point also, somebody who currently is in full-on denial mode is going to have Alzheimer's, and they are going to revert back to 20 years, and they are going to say, like, those Democrats, they're trying to get Trump. And it is going to be so satisfying. I'm going
In
to
the
come in with my
nursing home.
walker like,
Did this guy say
Here's
Trump
what happened.
again?
Here's
Well,
what
you
happened
know-
specifically, mother. All right. First of all, he did it. Here's when we found out. Like, that's going to be fun.
They're actually, I'm pretty sure there were studies done on World War II veterans as they were aging into this, and the memories that evoked, and a lot of memories came back that they turned off of wars. I'm pretty sure I hit on it. I'd have to look for it again.
Oh, that's effed up.
Yeah. Well, I
don't
mean,
need
if
that.
there's something to research, there's some discipline that's going to research it. Except in Florida, of course, if it's sociology, there will be no sociology. In Florida, they're taking it out of the curriculum.
Let me make you happy
Yep.
again then. If any of us get that, and I mean anybody in the world, anybody who listens, do think here's a silver lining. It's not much, but it exists. You will forget some of your favorite movies, so write them down, and you will
I
have
do
this
that
catalog, right? Right?
I never
You'll have this-
remember.
You'll have this catalog of movies that you'll know, like you'll
Oh,
forget the plot of
shit.
them, and you'll know that you like them. You'll have the ultimate recommendation.
I want to share an experience. So one of
Ooh,
my
okay.
favorite movies is Inception. I think it's pretty good. And
Okay.
a while ago, I did a lot of drugs and put Inception on, right? So like while the drugs are starting to take effect, right? So
Yeah.
like 20 minutes into the movie, whatever, I have no idea what I'm watching. I have no idea what movie this is, right? But I like the only reminder I had is written down somewhere, you like this movie? Like that's all I know. All I know is that I like it. I don't know what it is. I've never seen it before. I don't know, but all I
that's-
know is that I like it. And then like about like maybe an hour and a half into the movie, I remembered what it was, so it was pretty good.
That's delightful. It's gonna be a heck of an experience.
Wow, it's 11:42. Good thing I don't have to do anything tomorrow morning.
I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do
Only
actually. I have
question.
to. I have chores.
Mm.
It's my totally day off. Like I'm staying off fucking social media for a day and getting shit done.
Well, good. The only question is who's going to be the first.
Yeah. I have to drive over an hour to get a haircut.
It gets me every time.
Oh,
this
we did the
motherfucker.
haircut talk last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're,
tomorrow.
you're taking the haircut drive.
Yeah.
Next week, when we do our show Wednesday, I'm taking the pain management industrial complex drive to Buffalo. So I'm hoping I will be back, little frazzled. but-
Having to drive seems counterproductive.
having to drive? I don't want to.
No,
I
but
have
isn't that bad for your pain being in the car?
Yes, but that's the only place that I can.
They should come
Go.
to you.
They're not going to. They're trying to get rid of pain management. They're trying to kill us.
We should call that the Jake exit.
Yeah, the
Like,
Jake.
Jake
exit-
Hexit.
Fucker
Jake-
pulled a Jake.
He pulled a
Yeah.
Jake. Hey. Oh.
J period
Yeah,
space.
that guy was out of here like
Exit.
their old pal Jake. Didn't even say goodbye.
Right. How's
That's going to
everybody
be the
doing
name
out
of
there in
my
the chat?
character in a novel. Is J Kexit. It's going to be based off of
Sandy
everyone's
Detox
favorite
Day.
green screen user.
No, it's not.
Look, you say it and it's in the universe. Everyone's favorite green screen.
All right. I might be the second one. I
Oh.
might be the second one. I don't know. Do we have
So,
something?
what else did you all talk
revolutionary?
about last week?
don't
'Cause I wasn't
remember
here.
that.
Haircuts, driving for them. Holy shit. I talked about, of course, how fucked we all are with. I actually got a lot out last week. Holy crap.
I
Andrea.
like to go back and listen to these on 2x. You guys should try it.
Okay.
They're really fun. Because
Can you tell me what me screaming into the mic sounds like at 2x?
it sounds like what
What if I just started talking like this? Like, would you be able to understand this at 2x? Like, so in approximately like 15 hours from now, when you're rewatching this, are you going to be able to understand what I'm saying? Or are you going to have to go back and rewind it and put it back to 1x? I'm just,
Oh,
It's
God.
fun because
I'm too tired for this.
in a group discussion, people are always like, yeah, and those are the best part.
Yeah, because it's just like,
No, yeah, I do. No, yeah. Oh, I wonder what that's gonna sound like. Fake 2x at 2x. I wonder what. And then do this. 2x muted. That's even better. Because sometimes somebody's talking to me, I'm like, hold on, let me mute this. But I'm looking at it and it's like, it's really funny.
I'll have to do that. I don't know. Is Andrea doing a deaf impression?
Sandy's like, I don't know. Probably not. I'm probably not going to do that.
Am I making fun of deaf people?
Well,
Is
I
that what you're
did make a
asking? I would
clip.
never make fun of deaf people. That's fucked up.
Doing a deaf impression.
I think
That's Tim was
I think
just
that
being
took place on the
politically
show, though.
incorrect.
no.
No, I would
Andrea.
never make fun of deaf people. That sounds
I think that happened
uncharacteristic.
like 2 weeks
I
ago.
don't think it did. I'm really sure that if you pulled up a clip of that it would be a deepfake AI generated thing. Because I would never do that. I've never made fun
No.
of
You
people
don't
that
make
are deaf.
fun of
That's
people.
not a right thing to do. That's just bad. It's just I wouldn't do that.
Well,
I
but
know.
I
So
don't
if
think
anyone
it
wants to
was-
edit
I don't
together
think
those
it was
clips and
taken
post
in
them,
a
like, let me know.
Making fun. Yeah. Oh, Andrea. All right, guys. I'm next. But you guys could stay in the chat. I'm leaving. I'm saying good night. Love you guys. Thank
Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Thank you for
Sayonara.
bringing your
Take
green
care.
screen to the program.
you. Oh, I'll show my background next time. Bye.
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 Now the green screens are gone. Now
Fucking
it's just
finally.
real backgrounds. All right. So, where'd the tie-dye sweater and matching dog hoodie come from?
I can't tell you. I'm not fucking around. I can't tell you.
I want matching hoodies for me and my dog. Okay.
Okay, so you know how like in like mafia movies, you know, like when they ask someone to go do a job, and then they ask like, well, why am I doing this? And then they say it's better if you don't know.
No, first of all, I think you underestimate my stature in that mafia. Okay, I'm not like one of these low-level guys. Okay, I have full clearance.
Well, that's the
Any
thing. The
government-
higher up you are, the less you want to know this information.
No, the more you already know it. It's part of.
No.
Look, if we're
Well, okay,
if we're gonna
here's
plan
here's
this caper,
the second
we need
level.
to know all the.
The
the
second
ins and
level
outs.
is I don't have the information.
Oh,
That's the
So-
second level.
but you can ask somebody. It was a gift.
I don't know. I don't have the information.
Oh, it just showed up at your door. That's so.
I don't know anything.
Probably somebody just put in the wrong address.
It might have been. I really don't know. I don't know anything. I'm honestly a fucking idiot.
Okay. Well, I do have full clearance. Sometimes, like one of my brothers, I'll be talking to him and they'll say, I don't know if you heard. And I go, I have full clearance. I have heard. And they're like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know everything you're about to say.
Full clearance. How do I
knew
get
it
out of
before
here?
you. Somebody's got to manage his family. It's me. So I need full clearance. I need to know everything. All the deets. You know what I like? I like to joke around like I'm in that. Have you seen the Jason Bourne movies? So you know the
I haven't
control-
seen Jason Bourne.
Okay, but you know the control room where.
I've seen the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy,
Okay, so
and
you
the
know,
other ones, but I haven't seen Jason Bourne.
So you know the control room where they're looking at all the CC cameras around them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I love how when they're in those situations, they're like, okay, people, let's do the math. I want to pick it up, turn it over, and see what we find. I want to crunch these numbers. Let's find Bourne, people. You know, and they just keep throwing out these funny, they're not supposed to be funny, but to me, they're hilarious expressions, right? Where they're like, we're put on the coffee. You know what I mean? I love doing that.
Like fucking, you know,
When-
your
when-
wife's going to be eating dinner alone tonight because we got to go do this. And then they never get it done either.
Call the sitter, right? Yeah. It's you wait till like somebody in your family's like, what are we gonna do about so and so? And you're like, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it done, people. We're gonna do the math on this one. Get out your abacus. We're gonna pick it up,
Oh,
turn it over, see what we find. Leave no rock unturned. And basically, what I'm saying is, I like to be annoying.
Oh
Like,
yeah. I love to
inappropriately.
annoy people. I love making people
You do?
uncomfortable. I don't know if anyone knew that.
I'm not seeing that at all. Ever. Who are you trying to make uncomfortable? Just like anybody?
Just everybody?
Like random or everyone?
Random bodies, yeah.
Everyone all the time.
Yeah. Every single body?
Okay, remember when we talked about, like somebody mentioned Tim Pool earlier? Remember the YouTube account Tim Pool's dad? That wasn't really Tim Pool's dad, was it?
I do remember that. That was Tim Pool's dad, I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy. All right.
His whole family made like his sister made like a bunch of fucking videos about how like Tim Pool is like an abusive piece of shit or whatever. Like she was
you
like
don't need
down on her
videos
luck.
to know that.
Well, yeah, but like she was down on her luck or something, and then like Tim Pool was like, "You can come live in my compound," you know, and like she was trying to get her life back together, and like Tim Pool was just like going berserk and telling her to do a bunch of random chores and stuff, but like they're rich, you know. It's I don't know. There's a whole saga. I don't remember all the details, but I think
I
that
just-
kind of stuff is funny.
Just hoping somebody would have been like, oh, we found out that was a scam. All right, let's do. Hey, Morbius Dragon gifted 1 Letterhack membership. He's been on a roll gifting those memberships lately. Thank you so much. Onion Canyon Farm, $5. It's spring. What are you guys growing this year? Oh, we should have asked this when Sandy was still on. Are
I
you
got
growing
garlic.
anything? Garlic? That's cool. Any
I'm
particular
I'm
kind?
trying garlic.
Elephant garlic, or what do you got?
Just any garlic I can find. Just store bought.
My wife's the one who does it in our family. She has so many things going right now. Tons and tons of like beans and peppers, all kinds of stuff.
I got to get into peppers. That's one of my 5-year plan goals.
She's got a bunch of those, what do you call them? What do you call them? They'll be tulips, but right now they're just the thing.
Just
you
the
put in
two?
ground.
Or just the lip?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, just bulbs. Dozens of kinds of bulbs going, all kinds of stuff. Pendulous Dragon, $4.99 for Max. She is adorable. Actually, he's adorable, but right?
Wait,
Unless he was saying you're adorable.
I don't know how to read that.
I think this is Max saying you're adorable, Andrea.
Max is fucking snoring his brains out right now.
Oh.
Hold on, let me wake him up real quick.
Thanks for the $4.99. I think that was to Andrea's channel. Thank you, Pendulous Dragon. Donald James X, $5. What are Jesus's final 2 commandments in the New Testament? I stump a lot of Christians with this
Oh
question.
shit!
I think it's thou shalt not bear false witness and thou shalt not covet. I think. Some people say thou shalt not covet their neighbor's wife, slaves, and property or whatever it is, but I think that's it. Oh my gosh, what a doggy.
Max, you're on TV. Look, you're on TV. Isn't that cool? They're talking about you on the TV. You're famous.
If Donald James X is here, tell me if I got those last 2 right.
Look, that's you. You can see yourself on the TV. Oh.
If you can't smell it, it's not real. Bad Lefty. Thinking. Oh, that's the emoji. Meet my invisible imaginary friend. Yep. Look at this. Gifted
Holy Macintosh.
obsolete optics. Gifted
As soon as Sandy
50.
leaves, she gets paid.
50 environmental coffee house memberships. Wow. I'm up to like 90 memberships right now. It's pretty good. I might be over. Pendulous Dragon with the clarification. $1.99 super chat. Sorry, I thought Max was a girl's. Nope.
Max, are you a girl? Are you a trans dog? Look at this guy. Oh, fuck. Max, you're on TV. Wait. Yep, your tail is on TV, Max. What do you have to say about this? You're fucking famous. God. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean, those outfits are so great.
Look at this. Max, we're the same. You and me, we're on the same team. Oh my God.
Look, told you. He's on a roll. You might call it a tangent. Thank you. Good grief. That's great. Rolling in. Those are like golden rules. I don't know. It's so convoluted.
Love God with your whole body and soul, and love thy neighbor as yourself. Wait, so you're not supposed to have pride, so you can't love yourself, but you gotta love your neighbor as if they were yourself, but you can't love yourself. So that means that you need to feel lukewarm about your neighbors? Well, check. I guess I'm Jesus now.
I had somebody, I actually stopped talking to somebody one time because they said there would be no such thing as morals, positive, like good morals, without the Bible. I said, so
these
everyone would
motherfuckers
just
are
be
deranged.
negative heathens, right? And I said, you got to keep in mind, my friend, which that's a stretch because this is the last time I talked to him. I was just so over it. I said, you got to keep in mind, Christianity was given to you. You didn't find it. So I guess
I
that's a
just
lot of
love these
religions.
motherfuckers that think that, like, because they fucking go to church and have some guy yap at them for an hour and a half every week, that they have, like, some secret knowledge. Like, you follow the most mainstream fucking, like, shithead religion just because your parents told you it was the best thing to do. Like, you don't have secret knowledge, you fucking idiots. Like I just like this. It really triggers me as someone who does have secret knowledge. I got plenty of secret knowledge, just like where these fucking clothes came from. That's secret knowledge, right? But fucking Christians are going out there acting like they figured everything out, man. It's like I just hate the uppityness of religious people. It really grinds my goddamn gonkers, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are some priests I met that were the least overbearing religious people I've ever known. And I would tell myself, like, Ma, I could hang out with this guy. Because you would think, well, he's a priest in the Catholic Church. He's really going to lay it on thick. But no, he was like, didn't want to bring his work home with him, almost. He was like, can we please talk about anything else? That's the vibe. Just a couple of guys. But yeah, then you meet the people who go to church and it's like they have something to prove by telling you what they learned. I don't know.
Because fucking religion is all about status for them. Like, they don't actually care about their own personal relationship with Jesus. They just care about how other people perceive their relationship with Jesus. So they create these, I think you were telling me this, where you would just pretend to pass out because, like, Jesus was, like, speaking to you, like, so hard or whatever, at Jesus camp or whatever. Right? Like, isn't that something you said to me?
Pretend to pass out?
Yeah,
like
you...
from the Lord?
Yeah, yeah, like he's like, the power is going through you.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. I think we're talking about Jesus camp or something, and like they had these motherfuckers, like they just faint because God is talking through them.
Like start.
Yeah, yeah,
having,
they
like, a
convulse
sneeze.
like that.
No, I never did that.
Well, okay. Well, anyway.
That's awesome, though.
But yeah, like they do this so that other people think, wow, they're really in tune with God. They don't actually do it because, like, they want to develop and nourish their relationship with themselves or whatever. They do it so other people think that they're so epic and badass. Like, oh man, this bitch is talking to God right now. Like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, just saying it without, I mean, once upon a time, they would send people out. They'd say, somebody said they talked to a guy. We need priests to go out there and investigate. Now it's like people are just saying it all over the place. And it's like, I don't know if this was real. Sometimes you see, like, on Instagram or online, it's like that sign in front of the church that says, no, that's just your own thoughts. God hasn't chosen you, right? Like, God's not speaking to you. You thought that, right? Like
That's the thing that really blows my mind.
God told
is
me.
that
oh really?
People
What?
like they think that the most basic human biological psychological function is some magical God talking to them. Like that's like, how deranged in immature, and the literal definition of immature, like you're a child almost, do you have to be to not even understand, like, that your brain has thoughts? You know, like, are you 5? Are you like 5 years old? You know, like, I just like I learned that I can think when I was like fucking like 3, you know, and these people apparently still haven't learned that. It blows my mind.
Yeah. That there's any other voice inside your head except your own. What about that right-wing Jesus video? You've seen that, right? Where
Which
they
one?
showed it's like they do a reenactment of Jesus and his disciples and talking to people, and he's like, and God said, do not let immigrants cross the border. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, this
they
sounds good.
they put all. Oh, you got to watch it. They put all of the. It's the right wing Jesus, and it just sounds so ridiculous when it's actually Jesus saying it. Because these people claim that they're righteous and they're on a righteous path, and that's why I decapitated my dad. Oh my
That
God.
story, I mean, I know we talked it to death, but like honestly, I love that story. I really do, because it's like, it's just so like, just watching people react to that. Like, imagine someone who had no idea that fucking Republicans were insane like that, Like, imagine like that's someone finding out that Republicans are insane, Like, just how adorable is that? It's like a fucking baby learning to walk for the first time, Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what do you want to do? 2 hours. 2 hours and 1 minute. I gotta get
I don't
up
know.
and
I
get a
figure we could
haircut
do
tomorrow.
3 hours because I wasn't here last week, so do 2 shows. Got to catch up.
But I was here last week, so
All right, I'll see ya.
I don't need the overtime.
I'll see ya. I'll
Yes,
shut
you
down
can.
the show. You can trust me.
Actually, you can't. I have to stay
Set
up
an alarm
until
on your
you're
cell
done.
phone for 1 hour from now. Like, you'll wake up, you'll turn it off. I'll still be here.
This looks good.
The left hack, I think they meant to say that you are a hack, as in,
Like I
You
don't
know,
belong on the left.
yeah, you're a
How
hack.
is that?
You're
Well,
a fucking,
Self-described.
you're always fucking hacking, like computers and stuff.
But what I think it was just a typo, but there's no way anyone could mistake
No, you're a
me
total
for
hack.
not being on the left or being left
Nah,
of center.
you're like somewhere down.
I'm outside left.
You're down.
I am outside. I'm more left
Perpendicular.
than progressives. So I'm not.
I got
sweating
this
it.
dog right here. I couldn't listen to you because I'm busy petting this dog.
I got my dog in the other room.
Oh, in the other room? Interesting.
She doesn't want to be
It's-
in here. She doesn't
It's
wanna
very
be in here.
interesting.
It's not like she's sitting outside the door like, how come
Look
I'm
at
not
this.
allowed
Look at
in?"
this. He's right here, but you can't even see where he is because we're the same. So you don't even know.
That's funny. Okay. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, you wanna
plug
wrap it up?
anything? You got any videos coming out Friday? What are you doing this week? Anything?
Yeah, I guess I should do one. Yeah, last week I got fucked up from the weather. It fucked me up. It was like really dry and my like skin was breaking out, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. So I got to get back to videos.
Back
I'm
on
a
track?
video maker. I make videos. Can you believe it? People pay me still to make videos. What a stupid fucking.
She's not laughing at you guys. She's laughing with you guys.
No, not even close. I mean, okay, so let me get this straight. I make videos, and then someone is like, oh, great video. Here's some money. What?
Cha-ching, cha-ching. And then YouTube's like, we'll take some of that. Thank
Yeah,
you."
what the fuck, YouTube? What are you doing to me?
I know. Every time I get that email going, here's what you made last month, I'm like,
I didn't make anything. I made 3 videos last month. Like,
I just put it right back into the show.
what does that mean? You put it right back in? Like you have a jar next to your computer with a label, the show, and you just put it in the jar?
Yeah, I mean, it's in my bank account. I don't.
You
touch it.
open up your fucking computer case and stuff dollar bills in your CPU fan? Is that what
Yeah,
you're doing?
and then when I need to pay for StreamYard or whatever, I know the money's there.
Now, you want to know what's a great fucking scam?
I'm listening.
So, I used to be
I
a
do have
video
great
game
one, by
streamer.
the way. but go ahead.
No, I perpetuated the scam, so I'm speaking from experience. So I used to be a video game streamer, right? So like my job was streaming video games, right? So putting money into the show would just be buying video games
Yeah, is that awesome?
for me to play.
That you could have written that off on your taxes.
I did.
That's awesome.
I got a shitload of free video games because a bunch of fucking idiots gave me money to play video games. So stupid. I hate this fucking country. What a dumb country.
This is a real scam that used to go on. It might still go on. I mean, I could see lots of people falling for it, unfortunately. But I would say, we have a way for you to make money. Send me $25 in a self-addressed stamped envelope, and a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I will send you back a way to instantly start making money like I do. What I would do is say, place an ad in the paper exactly like the ad I place in the paper. People will start sending you $25 with self-addressed stamped envelopes, and then they'll tell. See what I mean? That's the scam. Can you fucking believe that worked? Do you get it? Am I
I
explaining
do
it
get
right?
it. It's a
Okay.
great scam. This is what I'm saying. Like, people are fucking stupid. Like, you know, like, you ever, like, when you're a kid, you ever think, like, wow, the adults in the room, they really know what's going on. Like, I can't wait to know as much as they do. And then, like, you hit 7, and you pretty much know everything your parents know. You know, you ever come home from school and your parents like, I didn't know that. Where'd you learn that? Like, what do you mean you didn't know what the fucking 4th president was? What are you, fucking stupid? Are you a fucking idiot? Like, fucking, did you go to school, you fucking idiot? Like, yeah, like, I don't
mean,
know. Like,
that's better than assuming because they're my offspring, they're going to be brilliant or worthy of everything that I've ever had. Like, Will Smith is like, oh, my kids are definitely going to be famous actors. Yeah, why wouldn't they be? They're my kids. I don't know. But you know that scam I was
I saw
talking
that
about,
one movie with fucking Jaden Smith. That
which-
not the fucking good one, but like the fucking space one where they're in like a fucking spaceship that like, and like the whole movie is them like on the spaceship like fucking around. I don't remember, but I just remember it was horrible.
there was I think he was in a movie called what's it called? It was a skateboarding movie that it was called The Kitchen. Takes place in Hell's Kitchen. It's all female skateboarders. It's really cool. They're a bunch of non-actors, and then like he's in it a little bit, but that was the only thing I saw him in where I was like, that's kind of not bad. But look, that scam I was talking about, imagine that you fell for that. You get the letter in your self-addressed stamp that you fucking self-addressed and stamped your own envelope that this cost them nothing to pull this scam off. Imagine you got that reply back. You would all at once be like, oh my God, I got scammed. But wait, did I? Because it works. I sent them to how many people I've sent them $25. Let's say somebody catches on to it. Then they start getting letters from the second letter they get from everyone who fell for the scam is you go fuck yourself. He might have made a quick $5,000 off that if he hit the right number of people all at once.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah, I think
impressed.
it's a pretty good scam. I'm glad it doesn't. Well, like I said, it may very well still be going on, but I don't think so. People don't put ads in papers anymore.
Well, there's a fucking cryptocurrency equivalent of that. Like,
There you
I
go.
don't know if you remember when all the fucking big Twitter accounts got hacked and were posting like, send me 1 Bitcoin and I'll send you 2 back. And like, if you look up the wallet addresses, you know, because it's crypto and you can look up all the transactions, like, you can actually see that thousands of people sent the fake Jeff Bezos 1 Bitcoin or like 1.1 Bitcoin. Like, thousands of people were like rushing to send the fake Elon Musk like money because they thought that they would immediately double it. Like, what? Like this, and this is like 2 years ago or whatever, and it's like, what?
P.O. box.
P.O. box. Come
And
on
that was
now.
just 2 years ago. And it sort of exists now in the way that Twitter or Instagram and YouTube are always saying, hey, look at how this person got a bunch of views on their video. You could do that too. And it's like, what are you saying? I should make the exact same content that's already out there? The fuck? And then, I mean, I guess people do that. Oh,
Everything
have
is
you
so
seen...
cookie cutter.
Oh, I'm not going to bring that up. It's probably not appropriate. See, I still have... Let me tell you what I suffer. I have an affliction. It's called white suburban male youth. Sometimes I'm like, I'll see something online and go, that's funny. And then I'm like, no, it's not.
All right, give me an example. Deaf
I
people.
saw-
Someone who's deaf is trying to talk. Go.
No, I saw two pictures next to each other. One was Napoleon Dynamite and one was Taylor Swift. And it said, I can't unsee that Taylor Swift is just Napoleon Dynamite with makeup and a wig. And they look the same. They could be brother and sister. But like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, I don't have to, that doesn't have to be in the world. We don't need that. We can have humor without that being the humor or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm just imagining the mental image right now, and I think you're right.
They look the same. What? I'm right that we don't need that humor to be in the world?
I mean, we don't need it to not be in the world.
It's like I said, sometimes I see something and then later I'm like, oh, I'll tell people about it. And I'm like, why am I telling people about this? Who cares?
Why am I spreading the message? The goddamn gospel? But they do look similar. Like, I'm just like thinking about it. They do look similar.
It was pretty, it was just, they caught her a certain moment where she was making the stereotypical Napoleon Dynamite facial expression. And I'm sure she was in the middle of not looking like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You get a nice lens on your camera and you can make anyone look like anything.
Yeah. But it, you know, I was watching a stream, not going to say whose, but there were people in the chat going, I just feel like you can't be funny anymore. I just feel like comedy isn't what it used to be because you can't get away with anything anymore. And I'm like, I just watched like a full-on Jim Gaffigan stand-up comedy start to finish. I was busting a gut the whole time. I was laughing my ass off. Not one joke making fun of marginalized people or not. He was never punching down. He would make fun of himself, you know, he would make fun of his in-laws, stuff like that. But he was never going after people who were already suffering. And it was hilarious. And so this whole notion that comedy is in trouble is just bullshit. That's not, it just makes me upset to think about the comedy needs to be whatever the comedian wants it to be funny.
Well, one of the other problems is people think comedians are like fucking like philosophers or like intellectuals or like great thinkers, you know? Like, you ever see this fucking shit where like people think like Dave Chappelle is like the next Socrates or some fucking shit? Like, you know, like that's a problem right there. Like, and you can be a comedian and a philosopher. Like they are not mutually exclusive. But this like elevation, like someone gets like the fucking microphone in their hand and they stand on stage and all of a sudden they're fucking like speaking this elegant cosmic truth about the universe or whatever. Like, that's the shit that really pisses me off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's delusional. And comedy is not like, it's not like, well, comedy's over. You know what? Maybe there are new social consciousness that require us to stop making comedy about making fun of large groups of people. Maybe
yeah. How about newsflash? It was never funny.
Yeah, this is what ultimately, this is what I'm saying, is that we should recognize it's nothing new. There's a new awareness around something. There's a new like mass awareness around something that people should have probably realized originally. And that's why I say I'm afflicted with this dumb, like, white guy from the suburbs in America. That's funny
Speaking
to
of
me
which-
because it's different.
I watched a film that I think you recommended to me called The Burbs.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was wonderful.
Legendary. Yes.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
We should be watching these movies together. We can do that on Discord. I don't understand why there's solo movie viewings. Whatever, you can watch movies by yourself if you want.
I like to
boring.
pause. I don't,
I don't do that.
I don't, socializing with the movie, then I can't enjoy the movie. I'm on high alert,
I would be quoting the movie the whole time too. That would be annoying. That's a quotable movie, right? Who's your favorite character in The Burbs?
I like the fucking kid. I forget the kid's name, but
Pizza
We're-
Dude.
yeah, he just invites all of his friends to watch the show. Like he's like, trust me, man, it's gonna get good. Like, and
The
it did.
painting of
It
the
got
house.
really
Yeah.
good. It got
Yeah.
really fucking good. Like, and I wish I lived in that kind of environment where I could just sit on my front porch and get free cable, like that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that was great. Tom Hanks is ultimately the best character in the thing, but Ray. But when they're in the basement going through like demonology books, and he's like, I'm not listening. He's like, you're chanting, Ray. You're chanting. Remember that? And he's like, Satan is good. Satan is our buddy. Satan is our pal. I want to kill every. I grew up saying that. Just say that. We would say that so often.
I want to kill.
I want to kill everyone.
I
Satan is our
love
buddy.
killing.
Satan is our pal. Look at this.
10 thanks for the show.
What
Thanks,
is-
Tor.
Thank you, Tor. What is SEK? What currency is that?
I don't fucking know. I'm sorry. I'm
Do-
stupid.
were you
American.
ever in doubt that the neighbors were up to something bad? Like, what about when he's like, I saw him take his trash to the curb and then beat it to death with a shovel. Who does that?
Well, I thought,
that was so-
yeah, like my thing is they're setting it up for a classic reverse twist, where it makes it seem like they're up to no good, but then obviously they're not up to no good, but then they actually are up to no good. I've saw through it, like probably around like the trash part was definitely a big one for me.
He said,
But also, like, how did they not see them? Like, they're just, like, staring at them from across the street. Like, their heads are popping up above the trash cans. Like, you would totally get caught.
he goes, funny. I didn't see a moving truck out front. He goes, I don't see how. It was parked out front all day. That guy, okay, so that guy,
That guy was the best.
he was a recurring guest, like character guest on Letterman in the 80s, on David Letterman.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a part of the New York art scene. He was
And they
like
just
one
got
of
him to
these-
play the creepy ass fuck in the Burbs.
He was just kind of like that. Kind of how he was.
And then you had the young guy who's just, like, staring at the void. Like, his whole life, he's just staring into nothing. He's not even staring at the wall. Like,
he's like offering them sardines.
oh, and when Tom Hanks eats the sardine and it's just the chewing. Ooh.
Because Carrie Fisher, his wife, is like, go ahead, Ray, eat it.
And I don't like fish. I mean, I don't eat fish. I think they're gross. I've never liked fish, even as a kid. I thought it was... So just the whole thing was just like, vomit inducing.
Who was the neighbor that disappeared? I'm spacing his name. They thought that they
Walter?
killed him. Yeah. He's like, you had Walter's rug down your pants the whole time. It's so good. Oh my God, it was so good. There's so many lines in that movie. Okay, best part of the movie, the very beginning, when they show the Universal Pictures Earth, and then they zoom in on it all the way down to his house. Remember
Oh
that part?
yeah. Right,
You can
right.
almost forget it because it's such an eventful movie, but like, I think they zoom out again at the end. I got to rewatch it. It's on Netflix now. I just saw. I got to rewatch it.
I don't know if it
Everybody
zooms
watch
out
The
to the
Burbs.
Universal logo, but it does zoom out.
It does zoom out, right? Yeah. And then he puts himself in the ambulance. He's like, "I'm sick. Take me to the hospital. I'm sick." And then his wife comes home from their lake house. She goes, "Ray, are you all right?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm fine, Carol." He's like on the
Like,
stretcher, blown up.
yeah. I mean,
When
the
he
when
walks
the
out of the
house blew up, I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious to me.
Yeah, they're like, "We hit a gas main, run." When he comes walking out though, and he like skips down the stairs a little bit, classic Tom Hanks. And then Bruce Stern's like, "Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going?"
That scares me though. Like blowing up a gas main.
And
Like,
it's not like super easy to do.
yeah, but just like the idea that like you can't even dig a hole in your fucking basement without risking blowing up the neighborhood.
Well, around a furnace like that, I'd be more worried about asbestos, tell you the truth. In that case.
That house looked like it was built with asbestos.
Pretty girlfriend of yours? It came with the frame. Oh, it came with the frame, huh?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever bought a picture frame? They sometimes come
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
fucking, like with the sunflower from fucking 1936 or some shit.
There's a great movie about a guy who keeps claiming that he time traveled. And he has a picture of his sister in his wallet. And then somebody sees that same picture in like a picture frame store in all the frames. And they go, "How can you explain this?" And he goes, "My sister was the model for that." They're like, "Okay, all right." It had to be. So we can't disprove that. They would ask him stuff like, "Okay, you're a time traveler. You came here in a time machine." He's like, "Yep." They go, "How's it work?" He goes, "I don't know. How's your car work?" "I don't know. Fucking know. Turn the ignition, comes on, I go."
I gotta
know
watch
just
this movie.
enough.
What's it called?
I forget. It's Vincent D'Onofrio. You know who that is? He's the kingpin in Daredevil. Let's see. Let me look it up. It's called Happy Accidents from 2000.
Right.
Science fiction, romantic comedy, Marissa Tomei, Vincent D'Onofrio.
It's a goddamn film.
Yeah, independent film, I believe. He says he came back from the year 2470.
Goddamn, can you imagine 2470?
I try not to. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, do you plan on being around then?
I got a couple plans up my sleeve for 2470. In some way or another, I'll be there.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know how realistic it is to think that anything will be here in 400 some years.
You don't think that my world-renowned YouTube videos that get like 200-300 views per are going to be there in 400 years? You don't think that?
I think all this shit becomes illegal one way or another. And I also think that I mean, if there's any sort of like really good authoritarian propaganda machine, it will shut YouTube down. It will be controlled by the state. But I think anyone who cryogenically freezes themselves in the hope that they could be reanimated one day in the future is going to wake up and be like, why did I do that?
I honestly I
mistake.
am a huge fan of cryogenic sleep, like just in fiction and in real life. Like if you were
I
to give
know.
me like evidence of someone going under for like 20 years and then coming back and it's like and they're great, they're fine, they're good to go, I would jump in. I just need to see evidence that it works on like a 20-year time span and I'll jump in. Would you jump in?
No. No, it's like this is the same discussion I've had with nerds where they're like, when the Lord of the Rings movies were coming out, everyone's rereading the books. So we'd always talk about the books. I highly recommend those books, by the way. But then we would, somebody would always inevitably be like, so what would you be? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, would you be one of the elves, the Dunedain, which are like men, but if you're 90, you look like you're in your 30s. You're like super, kind of like super powered, right? But there's all these different kinds of creatures or species or whatever, and they're like, "What would you want to be?" And I'm like, "I'd be a human being." What do you mean? And they're like, "No, which one would you want to be?" And I'm like, "I don't fantasize like that. I'm
Yeah, it
not
sounds
gonna
like you're a
be."
fucking loser. I would be the super powered guy who's like fucking
I
living for like 200, 300 years. That's me.
I feel that guy's life was not great.
I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read the book. So based on your description, which is very poor, by the way, I'm that guy.
I don't need to describe the Lord of the. What's the Lord of the Rings about? I guess there had to be one of you out there. No, my thing is, see, and I'm just gonna say it's another reason why if there was a Lord of the Rings restaurant theme franchise out there, Bilbo Jangles, everyone would know what what the Lord of the Rings was about. But anyway, I think that I draw the line between reality and fiction pretty good. And I do not play fantasy like that. I'm totally content with the trials, tribulations, challenges, successes, and failures of the real world.
I am not. I want the real world to end as soon as possible, and I want to go to a magical place where everything is better.
This is why people are writers and artists. This is, I think, fundamentally, this is why people create art because they want to perceive situations and realities that are far better or just different enough from what we have now. Just more interest, you know?
I agree. What we have now, well, first of all, I know too much. Like, let's be honest. Things that we're learning about the world now, it's only making it worse. Like, you don't read a story and go like, "Damn, that gives me some hope for the future." Every time you look at the news, whatever, some guy's cutting his dad's head off and making YouTube videos with it, right? It's not looking so good, right? So I just say this. I already know too much. I figured it out. I want to go learn about this other universe, you know? I want to figure out all that universe's little things. Maybe they have people that cut their mother's heads off. I would love to know about why it's so different over there, you know?
Have you seen the movie Another Earth?
No?
This is cool. One day, people realize there's a replica of the Earth. Like, right, we can see it. Like, you can see the moon. And they start trying to make contact with it. And they're like, another Earth? I mean, maybe we're all up there. Maybe there's other us. It's cool, right? Now, that's the backdrop for the movie. The movie is actually incredibly intimate story about a girl who
Well, don't spoil it.
yeah, I'm trying to describe it. She's looking for her redemption arc. I'll put it that way. Meanwhile, they occasionally show people watching the news and they're like talking about this other Earth. It's really cool. You got to see it, but you can see how somebody made this movie because they were like, you know what? I wish there was a place where it was the same but different. What do you mean, like another Earth? Yeah, that's the movie. That's what I'll do. So
There you go.
yeah, it's good. It's really good. I love that movie.
I'll look into it.
I seem to be on a roll with recommending movies. Flatliners, The Burbs, you dig them? I mean, I'm not
I'm in.
recommending movies because I like them and I wish you would like them. It's because I like them and I know that you will also like them.
I'm looking at another Earth where I can watch this bullshit.
I joined Letterboxd. I got to review that movie on Letterboxd.
Yeah, people have recommended I join that, but
Well, once you do, you're like, uh-oh, I got to give a rating on every movie I've ever seen. This is why. So I don't like reviewing things because while I'm watching a movie, I'm worried I'll be thinking about how should I review this, and I hate that.
Oh yeah.
Well, then I was told that we can, they were like, oh, some people just do like 1-2 sentence review. So like, I'll give you an example. Like on your profile, you can pick your top 4 favorite movies. And so I just reviewed a movie and said, this would be my 5th favorite movie. And now everyone reading that is like, oh, that's kind of neat. What would your 6th favorite movie be? You know what I mean? Because you only get to pick 4. So this would be my 5th. And
Well, then
that
that's what you
movie-
just say for all the movies. This would be.
That's funny. My 5th favorite movie was Before I Disappear. That great
What's
movie.
that? I think
a
I've heard
great
of
movie.
this.
It's about a guy he's in the process of offing himself, and he gets a call that from his sister that he's got to go pick up his niece and take care of her because she can't do it. And he's like, oh no, I have purpose. It's a great
I'm in.
movie.
I love movies about people trying to kill themselves.
Well, it was a short film. I believe it won an Oscar for short film, and then the guy was like, I'll make it into a feature-length film now. And it was totally the right thing to do because it's so much better than the short film. It didn't win an award, but it was better. And the guy who wrote and directed it and starred in it, I think he directed it, it doesn't even like make movies. He's a singer in a band.
Those are always the best ones, where it's just like some guys, like they had one movie in them that they ever wanted to do, and that's the one.
It's great too. It's really good. One scene or a couple of scenes take place in this all-night bowling alley, which is like a bar, club, bowling alley in Brooklyn. I've been there. I went there after I saw the movie, and I was like, it's actually as cool as they make it out to be in the movie.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, Andrea, I gave you another 30 minutes. I got to wrap this up. Where should we redirect?
Is that a thing now? Are we doing that?
Yeah. Is This Is Revolution still on? Can anyone
I don't want to
confirm?
have any part in the decision-making process. I abdicate.
People were asking where we should raid. Let's see. I don't think anyone else is on.
I'm abdicating. I have nothing.
I typed in "This is Evolution." Mm-hmm. No, they're not. See, everyone came to their senses long ago and got off the internet. Fuck.
But I want to get on the internet.
Is Feldman on right now? Oh, he doesn't. See, this is the thing. Your channel has to allow for a redirect to come your way. Some people don't do that, which is not smart.
Maybe they don't want to deal with your bullshit. You ever think about that?
Well, so all.
They're thinking, oh, if I turn redirects on, I'm gonna have to deal with this guy's bull fucking shit.
No, it just means a whole audience suddenly shows up at your show.
Yeah, a whole audience of people that are like, ew, what's this?
65
And then they click
people.
off immediately.
Safe to say anybody watching this show is watching Feldman. That guy's getting like 50,000 views.
Likely story?
Look at his channel. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna look. You can't make me.
Well, it depends on how serious you are about, the online left. Nurturing the community.
Well, you can nurture, and I will let you pick anyone you want. That is me. That's my version of mutual aid. Is I do nothing and you do it all, and then I benefit.
Matt Bender does not allow for redirects, but thank you for the $1.99 super chat and letting us know.
Excellent.
Well, looks like we're going to do this without a redirect, which, if you think about it, it's a shame.
It's a sham, really. Why waste an extra letter?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can redirect my own channel. Oh, no. Because I don't want it to go nowhere. Oh, no. I don't want it to go. It always goes to like the worst. I don't think I can redirect my own channel. Let's see. Let's see if it works. No. Garbage. Oh well, fuck it. We'll just end it.
Is anyone still here?
65 people. Can you believe that? I think maybe 64 of them are asleep.
Yeah, but how many of these motherfuckers are just like watching the same show with 4 tabs open?
Yeah.
You know? Really, we have like 10 viewers. Like, let's be honest here. Like, this is some viewer
really we
number
have-
inflation.
I think really we have double.
You think we have 20?
I think we're looking at 66 congruent.
Congruent?
66, 65. Uh-oh. If it hits 64, we're ending this thing immediately. 66. Who is playing around? Who is closing the tab and then opening a new tab? Who is doing this? 65.
Now, that's
64.
one thing. Like, I've been on the internet for a long
63.
time. Like, I would just love to know what these people are
65,
thinking. You click on,
67.
you have 4 seconds, and then you click off. I would love to, like, get a review. Like, you know how
68.
sometimes, like, the website is like, can we get your feedback on the video you just watched or whatever? Like,
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Like, oh, hey, you just clicked on my video for 5 seconds and thought it was boring and clicked off. Why? I would love to know why. Like, just tell me. Just give me a few sentences. I would love. That would be great.
I was on a customer service call recently, and they said, stay on the line for a quick 1-question survey. And I was like, okay, I'll give you 1 question. And they said, on a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to hire the person you just talked to? 1 being bad and 5 being good. And I was like, what, you capitalist scumbags? I was like, 5, I would totally hire them. What are you asking? That's like saying, do you think we should fire the person you just talked to? Right? Some bullshit. Anyway, we're at 59. I think people are just like, guess what won the stream for you? So you know what that means.
That's folks protesting outside Nancy Pelosi's house. Side note, why are we still dealing with Nancy Pelosi?